ready. I'm ready.
All right, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Clipping Point. My name is Captain Ben, and joining me is Mr.
Oh, was mine first?
Yeah,
Tim
it's your
Murphy.
turn.
Yay, all right. I was looking at something else. Yes, Tim Murphy. Thank you.
And along with?
Noel Garcia.
Yes, and normally this is the part where Paul would step in, but fortunately he can't make it. Something happened, but in any case, but let's go ahead and introduce one of our special guests of the evening, Mr. Zachary Polof, right? Did I pronounce that? Okay.
There's a little hesitation there.
Yes, indeed. Hang on. Let me just make that announcement. Hello.
Okay. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I don't know if we have anybody on, but if you're tuning in or you're just now or you're watching this later after we've already aired, please ask whatever questions. You can post whatever questions in the chat. And we are going to be just going over some, we're going to be going over with Zach some of his past experience, and we're going to be talking about him, about this super exciting season of round 2 of the Klutch Kickers $100,000 Drift Series, season 2.
Is it still called the $100,000 Drift Series?
Oh, that's a good question. Is it?
Or is it just the Drift Series now?
So for 2021, we're still going to leave it as the 100K series because we're not dramatically above 100K. When you do the math, I think it's only like 20,000 more or something, and 120,000 sounds kind of weird. So until it goes to like 200 or up, it'll probably stay the same.
Awesome. Okay.
Got you. 1.2.
Okay.
The Klutch Kickers 1.2.
The 1.2K.
So we're going to be going over that, and we're going to be just seeing what the difference is in this year to last year. What to expect. We already know some changes because we've seen the driver's list, but let's go ahead and start and ask you, Zach, where did you start drifting? I figure we'll start there, get some background for those people that don't know who you are because they see you at the track yelling or pointing or telling go this way, and you're going around like a madman everywhere, driving other people's cars, which I remember I think when I was up there, you were driving some Cressida, like falling in the back seat or something. It was like way sketchy, you're telling me. So where did you get your start of drifting, and what was the first chassis? We'll stay there that you started with.
So I started drifting like a decade ago in Atlanta. I'm from the like Streetwise Drift, Nopi days of drift in Atlanta.
Nice.
First chassis I ever did, S14. Yeah, S14, which is it's still the same chassis I'm using now, just a different rendition of the car, but that's kind of my background. I've been doing this for a little over a decade in various different states and like event types. So.
Okay, nice. So you mentioned SWD because I did a season up there. I was up in Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I was also. So were you back? So when they were doing the Nopi at the Nopi show drift off at Atlanta, you were doing those back then?
Yeah, so I did Nopi when it was still at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Right, it was like that.
Atlanta, yeah. And then when it went to Commerce Dragway, I was still there.
Nice.
I went to every Nopi up until the very last one in the same car, actually.
So you got to drift with Nick Hogan then. Wasn't Nick Hogan back then? Was he in that?
Well, he was in there for 1 year, for 2007. I think but I don't know if they were going to the Nopi Nationals. I think they were at the end of the year, but I can't confirm that.
Zach, maybe?
Do you remember? Was Nick Hogan still drifting when you were in Nopi?
I don't think so, because Nopi for me would have been like 2010 to 13.
Oh yeah.
So I doubt it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say is your favorite outside of Klutch Kickers, of course, because you can't. Outside of Klutch Kickers, probably maybe favorite venue for drifting as a driver, like most challenging or just most fun, either one, whatever you say sticks out the most in your head.
My favorite track to drive outside of ours, I love Mid Pond, even though it's smaller scale. It's super fun, super technical track. Most fun events that we've been to that are bigger scale, all the Grid Lifes. We did Grid Life Alpine Horizon Festival the first year, which was pretty cool.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
Road Atlanta's pretty sick. Those are probably my top 2 outside of our track in Mid Pond.
Okay, so you have some pretty good experience on some pretty nice tracks, man. I went to Road Atlanta and I failed tech. So,
I remember that. That was sad.
Yeah, SWD event. I went there and I failed tech, so I didn't get to go to that event. I ended up getting stuck at a KMS event at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Rough.
Yeah, but I did get to meet Dai Yoshihara.
Yeah.
So that was a kind of a cool time, but it was almost like a rain out, so it was like a monsoon.
Yeah.
But that was like towing my car all the way up there for a weekend. That just didn't really get much drifting at.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. So competing wise, what have you competed? So you competed in the Pro-Am series for SWD?
Yeah, I competed in SWD. I've competed in Lone Star Drift a little bit. I've done Myrtle Beach Pro-Am a little bit. KMS Drift.
Okay.
It's competing.
Yeah.
I think those are all the series. I've done like some one-off events too, but I think those are the bigger series that I've done over the years.
Okay. So and then Ben, you have any? I'm gonna try to switch gears to chassis, and before we get into the chassis topic, is there anything else you want to ask him about?
I think the chassis was probably
Yeah.
the next one that I was going to ask about. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, we touched on this before we started. Chassis, I guess. What's your favorite chassis? Maybe. So you did say it's a big topic. So maybe what would be your favorite?
What would
competitive?
What would be your dream drift build?
Oh, dream drift build. No.
Oh boy,
don't forget it. Now we're gonna be here all night.
If I was gonna redo another car, I would either do an E92 BMW or a C6 Corvette. I had a C6 drift car at one point, and I just didn't do it right. They weren't developed enough yet. Didn't really know what I was doing. But now that I've seen where they could go, I think they're gonna be some of the better, newer chassis drift cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably do one of those two if I could have an unlimited budget.
Yeah, budget's key, right?
Yeah.
They're actually starting to. I see. Was that I can't think of the top of my head. There's that series. They're actually starting off and seeing what it takes to go pro. I can't remember.
The Drift Games.
Drift Games.
Yes.
They started a series. I don't know if you saw that. And one of they basically took two of the drivers, two of the guys of the show. They start off with one guy started off with a Miata, and the other one started off with a Corvette. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses, because what's available now for the Vet, and it is pretty tempting, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's
now the
crazy.
pricing on them is great.
It's starting to come down. And if we would have gone back maybe 10 years ago, and if you would have asked me, is a Corvette a good drift car, I would have said, heck no, that's a terrible car to start with. But now with everything available for it, I mean, and so many people have claimed that it's like an S chassis just with more power and more grip. So it's kind of amazing where we've gone into like what cars we can build now.
Yeah. So, Ben?
Yeah, I guess kind of a touching on the chassis part. Is there like obviously with the series, the Klutch Kickers series, and you're seeing all these other type of vehicles sort of out there. Is there one that has like stood out for you that maybe you, if you had the opportunity, you'd pick up on and build off of that?
I mean, there's two cars that I really enjoy watching drive because I think they're kind of different and they're kind of elites at what they do. Taylor's Cadillac is super unique and extremely fast, extremely sick. To see the R&D he's done with that car over the past 3 years and how far it's came is pretty cool. And then I really like Kevin Lawrence's the Injuku Skyline.
Yes.
In terms of what that car is, it's extremely fast, extremely dialed. So probably one of those two. If I could like kind of take what somebody else has done and run with it, it'd probably be one of those two cars.
Yeah. I like the Skyline.
Yeah.
When he came out and the Drift HQ brought that car up from Orlando for him to compete.
Yeah, that was on the last round. Yeah, that was incredible.
That was good. That was cool to see.
And that car, in comparison to like all the other Pro and Pro 2 cars or Pro Spec now, it's relatively simple in comparison to the other cars, which is is the beauty of that car. It just works very well with a setup that isn't so crazy and elaborate. So.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you get involved with the Klutch Kickers? How that came about? Because obviously, I mean, you've already pointed out some of your experience and in the years of drifting. So how did that come about?
So Klutch Kickers kind of came about for me. I actually worked for a different shop here in Fort Walton Beach, like part-time, doing my normal job. Mr. Castlebrink and his son were originally actually clients of ours. I worked for the shop that built our white competition car originally. And then I was also driving for that shop sponsored by them. near the end of the build, they basically wanted to start their own drift team. Nick's original goal was to go to Formula D. Like, he wanted to go through Pro-Am, you know, go into Pro 2, go to Pro 1, and that was originally like the goal for them. And as most people know, you're not going to do that without a substantial crew behind you and some experience. So me and another driver, Joey, from that same shop, started working with them a little bit, and then like 4 or 5 months into the team, we decided to kind of like actually make Klutch Kickers something more than just like a drift team, and we just kind of all quit our jobs and ran with it. And
Oh, wow.
3 years later, we have what's arguably the second biggest drift series in the United States. So
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So 3 years. So last year wasn't really the first year of Klutch Kickers then, right?
no, it was just the first year of the 100K series. So Klutch Kickers before that was like about a year and a half old, where we had done like a United States tour where we went and drove for like 3 months all around the United States. And the apparel brand launched like a year and a half before that. So Klutch Kickers, this should be our 4th year.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So I didn't know that. I didn't realize that
Me
you guys
neither.
actually had that team where we're going around the country and drifting at different tracks. So that's
Yeah.
something that I didn't know.
But even then, it's still crazy how fast Klutch Kickers has grown. I mean, it's exploded. So I mean, hats off to you guys. It's a feat.
And has it caused any challenges? All right. And do you think that it had met or exceeded your original expectations so quickly?
So looking back at where we are now, I would say it definitively has beaten all of our expectations. I don't think any of us involved at any point saw it growing to the scale that it has, and that it's going to continue to hopefully grow too. But we've definitely had a lot of help along the way. You know, there's a lot of shops around here, like Full Lock has helped us out a lot. There's been a bunch of people that are involved that have just kind of helped keep pushing us. But it's definitely exceeded, I think, all of our expectations, especially with the 100K series. When we went in, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if anybody was going to show up to drive. And then we just somehow managed to make it through the first year with minimal casualties, and hopefully year 2 is just going to be 10 times better.
Yeah, I mean, minimal casualties. I mean, it was like one of those things like, oh, these guys are doing this series. Well, man, you know, how many times have we seen series, you know, I don't want to mention any series, you know, because we all know of one or two locally that come out and said, oh, we're going to do this. They do a couple events, and people are like, hey, you know, I won first place, but I never got paid, or you know, or certain things that you've seen. And then, so when we first saw that, okay, we're like, okay, I don't know, I mean, that's a lot of money, you know, you're thinking automatically you're going to be skeptical, right?
Yeah.
And then after the first, second, third one, you're like, wow, these guys are doing this is serious. And
Yeah.
that's when I reached out to Mike Castleberry. I was like, listen, we want to be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
We want to be a part of it because it's just like this thing that you could see is just flourishing so quickly and being run so well. It's just so organized. It's almost like like you said, okay, this may be the 4th year, but in terms of series and competitions or just organizations, it's still a baby, right?
Yeah.
So to see what's happened and I can only imagine where it's going to go, because I don't know. I mean, this season we're looking at that top 40 list that's on that I've seen already, and I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, speaking of, like, since the series is growing and you're saying that you're getting a lot of local support, you know, people want to jump on because the series is growing so fast. Are you also getting support nationally or even internationally from different shops or sponsors or whatnot?
We were hoping to get a substantial backing this year compared to what we had last year, which we're still working on. A lot of the sponsors we had last year and the ones we've been talking to, everybody's kind of in the same predicament with their budgets due to like the whole COVID shutdown, and you know, everybody's on this like weird time frame for drifting now. So yes and no. I mean, we've gotten a lot more support than we had last year, but we're not quite still where we want to be. But 2021 for us is basically already locked in. Like, we've got everything planned out for the 5 rounds that we want to do already done. We're already looking forward and ahead to 2022. So we're kind of there already, hopefully.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, 2020 was a mess for everybody. You still pulled off the series, yet there is going to be a little bit of backtracking because of that. But I mean, if 2022 is going to be awesome, I mean, because if things get back to normal this year, I mean, the sky's the limit for you guys.
So that being said, obviously, the first season of the $100,000 Klutch Kickers Drift Series was a success by far. I don't think anybody can even argue that. So let's go ahead and start looking at the driver's list. We already noticed that Pat Gooden is a driver. So we already know there's some changes. Let's go ahead and start off with the judges. So what are the changes that drivers can expect when it comes to being judged this year?
So it's no secret, Pat got a really good opportunity this year to drive for another team. Just so everybody's upfront and aware, Pat's not returning, neither is Greg. But there's no bad blood between us or Pat. Pat and I were really good friends before this. We're going to be really good friends after this. Like there was no big blowout or anything. He just got a really good offer, and he's an extremely talented driver. He's a driver first, judge and everything else second. So for him to turn this down would have been, I mean, there's no way I would have told him to turn this down to come back to us. That being said, we have locked in all three of our judges for 2021. Will Parsons is going to be returning. Officer Dan Brockett is actually going to be filling in.
Oh, okay. Awesome. There you go. That's going to be exciting.
Two.
Awesome.
Is he going to be handing out citations? I'm curious. It'd be great.
That would
You went off track.
Yeah, you get a 0 citation. Carry on. I'm sorry.
We're good. And then Dwayne Ramsey is actually going to be our third judge for 2021.
Nice.
That's exciting. Have all these drivers got to drive the track yet, or?
So Dwayne has been to, I believe, 2 of our events and driven. Dan was here for Drift Week.
Okay.
So he got to drive it during Drift Week. And then Will didn't drive it last year, but he drove my personal car for like 10 laps last year. So he's driven it too.
Yeah, because that's definitely key. Even as an announcer, I got to come up there I thought it was going to be the last fun day of the year, but it ended up being another one the following week because of the shutdown of the other one. So I didn't get to. I can't brag. I got the last event in of the year, but I was up there to the second last event, and it's a whole nother thing to drive it than to just talk about it. So I was definitely excited, and I definitely will be at the. There's a lot of stuff going on this year, personal-wise and family-wise, but definitely we'll be up there this year to drive again, so I'm looking forward to that. So aside from the judges, what about the judging criteria? Is the layout, are the clipping points going to change, or is that something that you want to hold off until the first event, or is it going to be posted up prior to the event where people can see the layout? What's going?
The layout will be up prior to the event. The layout for 2021, at least for round 1, is not substantially changing. We're still starting and ending in the same area. We're looking at making adjustments to the inner clip coming out of the first outer zone because I actually have the asphalt team up there working right now. We're adding a little bit more asphalt where the inner clip was, that in the event we decide not to move the clip further in, you at least have room to swing around it and swing out and not drop tires for this year. And then we're looking at the touch and go, potentially giving you a few more feet to get into the touch and go and out. For some of the lower horsepower cars, especially the Z's and stuff, when I was driving them, it's really hard to stretch it out to that touch and go and not scrub a substantial amount of speed, at least to me. So when the judges get here for round 1, we're going to explore that option. Other than that, for round 1, everything is staying the same.
Okay. So basically anything about as far as criteria that's going to change, spinning 0, like what's going to define a 0 or major corrections, or all those going to basically be the same as well?
So pretty much everything is the same as last year, minus the points we award for each category. For this year, style and angle have been flipped. So style had, I think, 40 points last year. I think this year now has 30. And then we flipped it the other way where angle now has 40 instead of 30.
Okay.
So just because style at our track it's extremely subjective in general, but at our track specifically, we have such a wide variety of drivers. There was a few instances, I think, last year, at least in my personal opinion, that guys got docked for just being a little too stylistic and using a lot of angle when it really didn't slow their car down. But the way we did judging last year, we gave each judge a specific category. And so this year we just tried to do it to where it was more balanced. The points would be more balanced. It was more fair across the board. And so we'll try that for round 1, and hopefully it's a little bit smoother than it was last year.
That's a good point to bring up because of the difference in cars. I mean, you have pro cars, you have grassroots cars, you have almost stock cars going out there, and style would be kind of a hard thing to show off when your car is stock. You're just trying to get it around the track as best as you can. So I think that's a good change you guys made there. You know, and there's, you know, it's awesome. The drivers are now going to be, you know, able to drive the track the way they feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and I was speaking with Josh Mason about a week or so ago. We had a good conversation. Josh he's a good guy, and he was telling me what he loved about the event as well is that, and I don't know if this is going to carry over to this season, but I know last season he said that with much is expected. So if you have a pro car, the judges are expecting more. And if you're not delivering that expected more, it's almost like it counts against you, it seemed like last season. Is that something that you think that's going to kind of carry over this season as well?
Yeah, so talking to Will a little bit behind the scenes, I haven't done a lot of talking to Dan or Dwayne yet. Outside of the events, I talked to both of them at Drift Week and the last event that Dwayne was at. But we'll reconvene Thursday before the event, and I'll kind of have a conversation about it. But I plan on having that carried over to the events this year. I don't think it's fair to expect the same thing out of like Alaconadale and Taylor, or sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't think it's fair to expect something out of a local driver in a stock Z with an angle kit, the same I would expect it out of like Taylor Hole or Alaconadale or somebody like that, regardless of what car they're in. Like Alec proved that you can bring out an angle kit and a Z on nitrous and still podium. So that took the argument out of the equation right there of like, it's pro car, pro driver. No, pro driver is just a pro driver. Like he's extremely skilled in any car. So I expect more of them in general, and I think the judges for 2021 will as well.
Okay. Now, what do you have a question, Ben?
Yeah, regarding the start line. Obviously, this past year, remember, you had the points dropping down.
Oh, yeah, they can jump, and
the chase guy could jump ahead while are there any changes regarding the start line, pretty much?
Yes. So 2021, there is no more arm drop start, period. We actually prototyped the light at the Fun Day with some of the competition drivers that were there. We'll have a full lighting system in place for 2021. There is no delay off the start line this year. You'll have 5 lights that come on. When they go off, you go or you get restarted.
Okay. What about the one more run?
So OMT for this year is going back to a full battle, and there are no limitations on how many times they can go one more time. So you'll get your full lead run, your full chase run. If they still don't deem a winner after that, then you can go one more time again and again.
Okay. So there will be no pressure on the judges. It's going to be, you got to win it, right?
Yeah. And also there was, all right, so something that happened, I think it was at the final round with Ben Julian. He spun out at the end of his run, but going on the opposite direction of
after the finish.
Yeah, after the finish. So is that something you guys are adjusting, or it's going to be the same?
Nope. For 2021, that is going to stay the same. Mostly just because, one, it's kind of a safety thing for the chase driver. I expect the chase driver coming across the line to be up on somebody's car. If they go 5 feet past the finish line, fully angled out and spin, there's a good chance the chase driver is going to hit them. And then 2, it stops you from going through the finish line on the foot brake at big angle and then just spinning going through the line, because you can hold it at the very ragged edge for a few seconds and then just let it go and not pull out of it. So you still have to unwind just like you did last year. You still have to come out of drift cleanly. If you spin out or any of that across the finish line, it's still going to be a 0.
Good point.
Now, what about, and I don't remember if we had this issue last year, and I don't remember what the ruling is on it. So if one of the drivers spins, is the other driver required to finish the lap, or if the first person spins at 0, you automatically move on?
So same what we did last year. If the chase driver spins out, the lead driver is still required to finish the run, assuming that it wouldn't be something that caused like harm to the lead driver. Like if the chase car passed them for some reason and spun out, or whatever, or like went through the field and was blocking the final turn or something, then they're not required to finish the run. But presumably nothing happens. Lead car has to finish their run no matter what. If the lead car was to spin out, the chase car is not required to finish their run.
Right, because it's
Right.
it's spun out in front of you.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Now, what about qualifying? I heard a couple different things with qualifying. Is qualifying how's that going to work? Because I heard mention of possibly the top 16 qualifiers automatically locking in the top 16 spots. Is that something that you guys are going to be changing?
No, so for 2021, we had pitched a couple ideas of the way we wanted to split the field. Originally, we weren't going to take as many drivers, and we were going to possibly do like 48 and then do some buy runs or whatever. But we just deemed it easier to try and not reinvent the wheel with certain things like we tried to do last year. So this year, there's an 80 driver cap across the board. We're only going to take 64 in qualifying. So
Nice.
top 64 qualifiers will get through, and then it'll battle 64 to 32, 32 to 16, just like we did last year.
Okay. Now, what happens and I'm just going to throw a scenario at it because I've seen it in SWD and when we're going back where you get really only like top 59, right? Because everybody else zeroed out. It's just then you're going to just have to do buy runs, unfortunately, at that point, right?
Yeah, same thing we did last year. That's why we took 80 drivers this year. Last year, we hard capped it at 64. And the issue was there was a few rounds where we sold out all 64, but guaranteed every round somebody double zeroed or somebody's car broke or something happened. And then we ended up having somewhere between like 4 and 15 buy runs depending on the round. So we're going to try and eliminate that this year as much as we can. If for some reason we still have double faults or we can't qualify 64, then the top whatever would just get buy runs.
Okay.
Okay.
What contingency plans do you have in place for extreme weather?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Umbrellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about that. So that question actually came up a lot after the hurricane problem last year.
Yeah.
We don't know if it'll be done for round one because we're kind of on a cold weather time crunch thing right now with getting asphalt work done. But we were looking into the first turn getting a full drain put in under the turn. So in the event water hit the turn, it would just go underneath and flow out. That probably won't be available for round one. But we've also got gravel and sand being put in around the edges of the track under the dirt to at least try and disperse the water a little bit better and not just create, crazy rivers like it had last year. The weather, I mean, we ran through a hurricane last year and we managed to get through it, I think, pretty good. So as long as we can get a break in the weather, I can usually have the track ready to go in about 30 minutes. So I don't really see a scenario where we couldn't figure out something to get an event done. But we are going to try and put the drain in for rounds 2 and on.
Now we're going to get hit. We're going to get hit with Sharknado now. You know that, right? Sharks flying out of the sky.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I thought I was gonna fly away with the tent. I was like, please make it stop.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. That was but definitely a good memory for sure.
Now, kind of not about judging, but more on the technical side. Are there any changes to the technical regulations that from last year? Like what can be done to the car, what has to be done?
I wouldn't say there's any major changes. We've reworded some things because we had a couple issues last year with like headlight, taillight, brake light things. I had mandatory kill switches and other stuff in the rule book last year that we kind of modified after round one because we did have to take into account that we had a lot of guys register street cars. For this year, since we're no longer a new series, the rulebook I think has been we've updated it a lot more, made it a little bit harsher. So kill switches are now mandatory across the board, does not matter. I think that's the only thing that's really changed. Minus you have to have functional headlights, taillights, and brake lights at all times.
Okay.
If you we had an issue last year where somebody started the event with them, they had a wiring fault midway through the event. They went into a battle last year, and then they ran without the headlights, not knowing. Then we had like a big argument and like a dispute thing about it. So for this year, they've got to work 24/7. And then we added in an additional rule this year where basically if you start the event and your car passes tech, or for some reason you get something by the tech team, that does not mean that you don't have to abide by the rule. You and your team are responsible for your car round to round and battle to battle. So if it breaks during the event, that sucks. You have until the next battle to fix it.
Oh, okay. And as far as the 5 minute rule, are you how many timeouts or chances does somebody get? They only get 1 5 minute?
So they only get 1 5 minute timeout. pending they actually have to take a timeout, and then they have either 10 minutes or 15 minutes for an impact thing, depending on the situation. Like Alec had something last year where his taillight got knocked out on track by a cone, which wasn't really his fault or the other driver's fault. So for that, he got 10 minutes to put his taillight back in. And then if you get damage to your car done by either a lead or chase driver and it's deemed their fault, then you have 15 minutes to fix it.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Now you mentioned that there's not going to be a hand drop start, since it's going to be a lighted start, a tree that's going to be sending the cars off. Are you going to have like the chicane for that lead driver, or is a chase driver still allowed to jump the light?
So the chase driver is still allowed to jump the light. That's one of the main reasons we put the lighting system in, because I feel like with the arm drop thing last year and the delay, there was a big gamble for the chase driver's part to jump the light, because there was no guarantee when the arms went down that whoever was on the line was going to leave right when the arms went down. So like we gave them the window where we were like, hey, you have, between 0 and 2 seconds to leave the line. Some guys might leave in half a second. Some guys might take the full 2 seconds. And as a chase car, it's hard to like judge that. So for this year, they can jump the line. There should be no fears about, well, I can't jump the light because don't know if they're going to leave. They have to leave. Light goes off. They have to move.
Okay, so they don't get to sit there for 2 seconds.
No, so there is absolutely zero delay for 2021.
Okay.
Lights go off, you move, you roll, like leave the start line like normal. If you leave like a bat out of hell 9 times out of 10, and 1 out of 10 times you decide to like mosey on the line, we're just going to call a restart.
Good.
Nice. Yeah. So no sandbagging. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
as far as I know, as of right now, I'm the one who's personally going to be watching to do the restart thing. And I have a button on the same remote that's on a light that's going to trigger a light in the first turn. So like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, we'll just call the restarts.
I thought you were going to say it was a button that's going to eject the driver's seat or something. Or actually, I thought you were going to keep no in check.
Yeah.
Since you're our fact checker over here.
Yeah,
fact
for
checker,
real.
right? That's funny. So you came up with basically you were saying before that you're like the man, right? When it comes to you wrote the rule book and the judging. That's basically all you for the most part, right?
Yeah, rule book, judging criteria, stuff like that. I generally write it. Now I still collab with the team. Like we all kind of sit in a circle and put ideas on paper. There's a few people outside of our direct team, like Webb Travis and like Nick Swan, my judges, stuff like that. We obviously all collab on different aspects of it, and we kind of all proof it before it goes out. But the initial rendition's usually all me.
Okay. Aside from the judges, change up a little bit. As far as the Klutch Kickers crew, any new additions that you guys have?
2021, the staffing is pretty much staying the same. We've just switched some people around. So like Greg's no longer judging for us, but he's still working on some stuff with us behind the scenes, doing some like marketing and sponsorship stuff. Nick Swan is still going to be with us for 2021. He's just not going to be running the grid from the line. Essentially for this year, Swan and I are going to split responsibilities, because last year it was really hard for me to deal with like the bracket and helping with the live stream and keeping everything straight and pay attention to what's going on the track and in the pits. So Swan's going to basically run all the on-track stuff this year, while I'm going to run basically all the behind-the-scenes stuff this year.
It's all right. So you guys can focus more on individual instead of being spread too thin. So that's going to make things more efficient.
It was just kind of weird. Like last year I'd be in the judges tower, like doing bracket updates or doing the qualifying scoring or whatever. And, somebody might call a 5-minute timeout, and then I have to like try and keep in the back of my head, okay, hey, somebody go catch this 5-minute timeout while trying to do other things. And it just seemed to be a lot of like trying to bounce around and keep stuff organized was really hard. So
Yeah.
Another question I had is, and this was a question that I got from a couple drivers, is so there are some drivers that drive at far distance, and I believe you guys do actually supply or offer, I think is a Mike, I believe, that Michael that has an area where if somebody wants to store their car for the full season or even for a couple seasons, they actually do have you guys do have a place for them to store a car. Is that correct?
yeah, so for 2021, we've looked into a couple different options with that too. Our crew chief, who's going to be running Nick's program this year, so I can kind of stay focused on the 100K series. He's got a shop in Dothan, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from the track. I think he said he could store up to 20 cars there for the season, if need be.
Nice.
We have a shop in Fort Walton Beach where, if need be, I could keep somewhere between 2 and 4 in addition to ours. And then we are also looking at getting some on-site containers potentially for 2021 for people who wanted to leave them at the track.
That's a good
Wow.
idea. Yeah, some Connex boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the containers are not a guarantee yet. We haven't really looked into that, and we'd have to figure that out with the driver or whatever the case may be. But if somebody wanted to leave one and store it, we have like the resources.
Okay, that's good.
Nice.
Any changes or anything different in regards to the whole the process of protesting a call or anything like that?
No, the process is pretty much staying the same. The only difference is this year the price has gone up significantly.
Oh.
Only because like last year we charged $80 for the championship points. The problem with the low amount is if you had a team of 5 people, we had people that would just have their team members throw in $20 and they'd protest kind of just to get the feedback or to see what happened or just take the off chance to get it overturned. And it really delayed the event last year because we overturned 1 protest all year long.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like, if you're going to protest, we really want you to think about it, do your research, not just be like, okay, it's only $80, give it up. We're just going to do it and see what happens. So this year it's $250 to protest.
Oh,
Nice.
oh yeah,
I
you want to
agree.
protest? All right, we'll give us some money.
I agree. That's a good move.
Oh, that's
It's a good
funny.
move. So I mean, it just means that like, hey, I for sure should have won that. So yeah, I'll pay up because that wasn't fair. Or whatever they want to think, but it's just yeah. I mean, it's a time waster. Like if you're just like, oh yeah, it was close. Maybe it should go one more time. No,
Yeah.
dude.
Any new camera angles that we're gonna have this year for the judges to be able to pick apart people's runs?
Yeah, so I was actually going to comment on that too. Last year after round 1, we implemented the drones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for 2021, we'll have both drones flying. We have like almost 10 different camera angles on the track between the live stream and our direct media.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Which we had rounds 3 through 5 last year. And the protest we overturned, I think, was at round 2 before we had everything, which is the main reason we looked into like the new cameras and stuff. So the reality is if you're going to protest, the chances that they got a call wrong based on all the footage they're going to look at before they make a call would be really slim.
Right.
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 So like if you're going to protest, just make sure it's worth it. I mean, like we like I said, we have like almost 10 different camera angles to look at, and they generally look at least the live stream and the drones before they make a call. So
Right. So now, if the call gets overturned, do they get their money back, or they?
yeah. Okay. So if for some crazy reason somebody protested and it got overturned, they would get their money back.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. At least, yeah.
Okay. Now, in regards to the media that's out on the track, are there any changes as to like where they can and can't go, or is it roughly the same?
No, we've made some bigger changes to media for 2021. So I think the biggest one that Matt and Austin decided they wanted to do was last year, if you applied for media because we were new and we thought you were decent at media, we basically approved you, you got a vest, you got free access to the track just so we could kind of blow up the series. The more exposure we get, the better. The problem with that was then we had people everywhere. So this year, we're only doing 10 pre-approved people per event to go on the track. If you want to shoot from outside the track, have at it. But so there's only 10 people that'll get an actual like Klutch Kickers media vest this year. We're going to put more barriers in place for media this year. There's absolutely no media allowed in the last turn at all that's not for the live stream. Just because there's always the possibility of what happened to Taylor happening to somebody else where they go off track and it just pulls the car that way. And then you're no longer allowed to lay down, which I don't even know what we're doing this to begin with. You're no longer allowed to lay down in the track to take pictures or videos.
Oh, I hope our Wrangler was listening to that.
No more laying down. Oh.
So
So I'm kind of new to media. I'm not like a giant camera guy. I'm just now getting into it. But like to me, that just seems really not smart. I don't know.
It's the angles, man. It's the angles.
Yeah, it's all about the
That's the
angles.
only way you can get those crazy sick angles.
Yeah, we actually have Ryan Deering. He just came in, joined us. He's gonna fill in the second half, and that's where we met him. He's a media guy. He's taking pictures, and he took it upon himself to, hey, I'm not gonna just take pictures.
No, I
fix his
actually
mic.
agree. Yeah, there's no reason to be laying down around drift cars,
No.
especially. And I've seen, like, I've only been filming for like a year. I've seen enough go wrong that, and I was right there when Taylor almost went off track, and Caitlin was right there.
Yeah.
And it could have been way worse than it was if Taylor wasn't as good of a driver as he is. I'd say for sure, because he pulled out pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as the media, because I know some venues, they'll make the media guys actually forfeit over their footage as well. Is that anything that you guys are requiring? No?
No, with us, a lot of the media people that we work with, we tend to share media back and forth anyways. But we don't require them to submit their media to us. We have our own full-time media team on site. We believe that people like Robert Goodwin and Ryan and a few other people who do this, they need to make money at it too. So for them to have to give us the footage to use and not be able to sell it, to me seems kind of counterintuitive. But.
Right.
I've seen it in the past though on certain events, and I know it upset quite a few photographers, and they didn't want to come back, which justly so, right?
It makes total sense on why you don't want to come back. Yeah, that's nice of you guys. I mean, you're supporting, you're getting support from the media, and you're supporting the media as well. So that's awesome to see you guys work as a community together.
Any other? I mean, I think we went over pretty much everything that I want to go over, but is there anything else that sticks out in your head that maybe you want people to know, one as spectator wise and also as a driver?
Not like nothing's jumping out at me. I mean, I feel like we covered a wide variety of topics, and we didn't change a whole lot from 2020 to 2021. We just kind of fine-tuned the things that we think people didn't like the most. Mm-hmm. Obviously for 2021, we wanted to add more layouts and do a bunch of other stuff, but just the reality is the series is extremely expensive to put on, and with COVID happening and people kind of coming in and out of the industry right now, it's, we're lucky to even be able to have a second season right now and be able to go through it, let alone trying to make it, substantially better than last year. So I think just like everybody else right now, we're just trying to do what we can to improve it little by little while we can.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. So, and I found this funny. How fast did it take for those first 40 season spots to fill? I mean, I think it went up for sale, and I think it was like 30 people had already registered, within the
within
quickly,
2 hours or so.
So it was kind of weird. It didn't fill as fast as we thought. For some reason with our events, people always think they're going to fill super quick, and it's not that we don't fill them. We just don't fill them instantly. The first 40 spots, we sold the majority of them, I would say, within the first 48 hours. And the last 10...
That's unbelievable. You got to think about that. It's your second season, right? Yeah. I mean, and that's unheard of. That was another thing that I was talking to Josh Mason about. He was he's in California, he's going to these events, and he said, you maybe get 2 or 3 guys that pre-register. He goes, the other 80 to 90% of the drivers, they usually pay the day before the day of the show to see... an event at this it's this caliber filling up 48 hours. I mean, that's
so nuts.
It's almost like it's a Black Thursday sale, Black Friday sale.
But it's not just one event; it's for a series.
That's
of
what I'm
events
saying.
For a whole year,
right?
Yeah, that's even crazy.
Major commitment.
Yeah.
We feel like we offered a good incentive this year, though. Last year, there was really no incentive to buy the season. It was you got a little bit of a discount to buy all 5 rounds, but it wasn't crazy. This year, if you bought the season, you're guaranteed to be able to fight for the championship money this year. Whereas last year, if you just registered for any event, you could be in contention.
Ah, so that's the difference. Okay.
Yeah.
So that one guy that wants to show up and he wants to kind of throw the wrench in, for somebody that's possibly taking out a driver that's in contention. That's that wild card, but he's not going to have the chance to win the season anyway. So it's going to be a bunch of wild cards.
Anybody out?
Right.
Okay, so Chelsea can't come in like he did and just wreck house and.
He can.
That and it made it really hard last year because I'm also the one that keeps track of the point series. I had 142 different drivers on my list at the end of the season last year.
Holy cow!
I think about going through that round to round, trying to figure out the math and do all the points, and I'm like, it's kind of silly because the guy who's in 120th spot has absolutely no chance of being in the top 5.
Right.
Course,
so he shouldn't be able to take the points away from somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. So that, and then I think the only other big thing that's going to change for this year, which we haven't released, is, and I'm not going to say how it's going to change yet, but the drivers will be getting more practice time this year. I'm just not going to release how yet.
Yeah. I mean, I did notice they are 3-day events now. But
it's not the 3-day thing.
Oh,
so the 3-day thing tripped everybody out. Mm-hmm. The only reason we did it Friday, Saturday, Sunday is because at the first 4 rounds, they were running the drag strip Friday night. Oh. So it made it extremely hard to get drivers in, get the big toter homes in, get them unloaded, try and get them pre-teched and everything. So this year we basically just booked the track for 3 days in a row so that way Friday nobody else could run.
So Friday, what times are rolling on Friday? I mean, I know they could show up all night because you guys are there all night long anyways, but
Yeah, so generally we open the gates about 3 p.m. for driver load-in, which seemed to work pretty good last year. I think the only person that ever beat me there was Thomas Miata, and it's because they leave on Tuesday. So gates usually open about 3. This year we're going to do something different where we're actually going to open tech about 5:30. So all the drivers that are there Friday night will get completely pre-teched if they wish. We highly encourage it to make Saturday go a lot quicker and a lot smoother. And then Friday night's basically just we'll hang out, chat, catch up from last year, talk about the event. The judges will be on site if you have any questions for them. My entire team, my boss, Swan, will be on site if you got any questions for us.
okay. And event sponsors, are there any new event sponsors this year?
There are several new ones, but they're not 100% finalized and locked in yet,
Okay.
so I'm not allowed to give them out yet.
Okay. All right. And as far as hotel wise, it's basically whatever's around the area, or do you guys have a specific hotel you guys are?
So we're still pairing up with the Island for 2021.
Okay.
They're coming
Okay.
back on board to support not just the series but our programs. So we'll have a discounted hotel link for them. Still going to have the after party there. It is a good ways from the track. We know it's about 45 minutes, but believe me, this day that hotel is insane. In-ground grotto bar in the pool, 3 different buildings overlook the ocean. They're super nice. But there are 2 or 3 really nice hotels in Crestview too if you want to stay closer to the track.
Yeah, that's what I think we have.
I got a question. How do you muster up the energy to attend the after party after running for a whole weekend? I'm curious.
So this is a hot topic between my boss and I, because every event for us, it doesn't just end when the event ends. We still have to clean up the track that night. Still got to pack all the trailers and rigs, get them all back to Fort Walton, and then go to the after party. Don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but it is kind of nice to just go and hang out with Troy Manners and some of the other teams that just go and hang out and just kind of unwind after the weekend. With the schedule this year, though, there's a good chance that we're probably going to basically just send certain people to each after party and then guarantee that we'll all be at the round 5 one. But we just kind of have to. I mean, to me, it's kind of weird to have an event all weekend and talk to all these guys and put on this big show for them and then not show up just to hang out with them at the after party when it's 5 feet from my house.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I got a question. What about food trucks? Are we gonna have more variety of food? Are we gonna have more variety of food?
This is a question that I'm most interested in.
I really got upset because there was a Chick-fil-A tent there, and I was like, "Oh, there's Chick-fil-A." I get over there, it's just a bunch of people hanging out.
No, that's just Ethan. Yeah, that's just Ethan.
So this is it's so hard because one, our on-site concession lady, Miss Sherry, is actually opening up her own little restaurant at the track. So she's gonna be doing way more than just your typical. She used to run a diner, so she's bringing all the diner foods.
Oh, okay,
nice.
But we try this every event. We have Chop Chop Bistro and
Oh,
some
that was
other
good.
people that we asked to come out, and then food trucks in our area are kind of hard because we're sandwiched between 3 military bases, and a lot of them go to the bases on the weekends. And it's really hard to beat the bases. I mean, the military, they blow money like it's going out of style. So,
Yeah.
we're trying. I mean, we invite different people every round, so we're hoping to have more out there, but
Maybe we get
unfortunately nothing I can guarantee.
Like a hot dog cart next to the line,
That'd be good.
Yeah, so you can get the hot dog while you're waiting in line, down a couple hot dogs, a couple wieners before you start. That'd be kind of cool.
I hear Mike Pollard wants to bring his own chicken wings and stuff for 2021, so maybe he'll be doing something too.
Ready for that?
Drift HQ always has a lot of food going on too.
Yeah. Savio can really grow.
Yeah, Savio really
He
grows.
gets down.
Savio registered for round 1, so I know there'll be steaks at round 1.
Exactly.
Wait, you said Mike Pollard's gonna have wings, so is he gonna call it Magic Wings? Maybe.
I don't know. He made a joke last year. He was about cooking something up and selling it between battles and runs and something, and we were go for it. We thought it'd be kind of funny. So.
Well, let's see if it happens.
Hey, can you imagine there's there's a draw in the judge's decision, so for them to actually settle it, they have to go into a cook-off? That'd be great.
I don't know if any of the judges can cook, but that'd be kind of interesting.
Somebody's gonna get cut for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim, anything else, guys?
No, I think we covered everything we want. I don't know.
I'm surprised nobody in the chat has actually submitted any questions.
Well,
I know. I'm kind of confused. Half the chat's my own team.
I figured some drivers would have
Ryan,
questions on the rules.
do you have any questions,
or-
Ryan? Any questions yet?
No, I figured the drivers would have questions on the rules and stuff, but they sound to me like pretty solid to what drivers would want, like for pure competition. So
Right.
yeah, sounds
Now-
really cool.
I am gonna ask: is there a driver coming into the series that you think is going to kind of mix things up, or just lay it all down and just kind of take it away from Taylor?
Why does it have to be Taylor?
Because he was
'Cause he was a champion.
He's a defending
'Cause he's the
champ.
champion.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess.
Hold on. Let me pull up the drivers list.
I mean, you got Adam LZ. I mean, it's a stack list. You
Yeah.
have you have
So-
Pat Gooden.
There was somebody new that registered this year that I was like, oh, this is going to be like a good like. So the weird thing is, I know some behind the scenes drivers that are contemplating coming out that are not registered yet that I know would shake things up, but I don't want to be the one to go, hey, this guy's coming and he's going to shake it up and like ruin it for him.
Right.
There is one dude who I know is going to register because I was going to let him drive my personal car in the competition series this year. That ended up leaving his car on the East Coast when he was here last time. That if he shows up, is really going to shake it up.
All right.
It's Brutsky. He won the
He won
Pro 2,
last
so
year,
he's.
yeah.
I think he's entered, right? He.
Nope.
Just-
Dimitri and Brian both did not register yet. I've talked to them already. They're both kind of trying to figure out what to do with their 2021 program still. You know, with Dimitri winning the championship and
Now he's pro.
yeah, contemplating that Pro 1 jump and everything that happened with Wadman's car. Neither one of them are currently registered. I think Reese is going to be an interesting one.
Huh.
He was here for the Fun Day testing the Z, and I've seen some fast cars at that track. Taylor's Cadillac's really fast, but I would definitely say Reese's Z accelerates on the same pace going through the first turn.
Okay.
I know Mike Pollard's revamping his car this year.
Yeah,
Ah.
I heard about that.
That thing is mean.
I know some tricky stuff that's going on with Alec Conadale and his car for 2021.
Oh,
that
tricky,
is gonna
tricky.
Shake things up.
Oh boy.
Wow. And you have those other drivers that could just show up and have a stellar day, like Avocado. I mean, he can come up there and have a stellar day, right?
Yeah, right.
And just take somebody out early.
Yeah, you got Randy Noah. There's a ton of drivers. I mean,
I know.
there.
You got
So
Ben
many of them
Julian.
made changes to their cars this year too. There's so many of them made changes for 2021 that it's hard to go. Well, Taylor Ray did really good last year, but now he's got 130 more horsepower and he's on a way grippier tire and like.
Yeah.
How do you judge that now?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I got a question in the chat from Tyler Berry who says, "How late is load-in on Friday?"
we'll probably leave the track somewhere between 10 and 11:30. That's when we normally get done setting up and hanging out with everybody. You can load in after that. The gates will be open. We generally just ask that you don't unload your car in the event we have to move you in the morning. So we will have a more like detailed layout for the pits for 2021, where we're going to basically put toter homes in one section, open trailers in another, and enclosed trailers in another. But the pit parking there, we're all aware, is kind of chaotic and can get a little hectic. So you can load in as late as you want. Just please don't unload if we're not there to park you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, I think I got there on a fun day. I think I got there like midnight or like 1 o'clock. I came in late because I was coming up, from down south here. And the gate was open. Nobody was really up. Some people were doing fires because it was freaking cold that night. But I couldn't believe it. There's ice on my car when I woke up in the morning. I mean, what is that?
Yeah.
Not used
That,
to
we
that.
don't get that
It's,
down here.
it's 90 degrees down here.
Follow-up question from Tyler who wrote, "If I have a teammate at the track losing in on Friday, can he save my spot if I can make it? Loading, sorry. If he can't make it by 11."
I would love to be able to say yes, but with the reality of the fact that we're probably going to have 70 plus drivers on the property, we try to not save spots for anybody. We ask that if you want to pit with somebody, you show up at the same time, or you pit off to the side and just don't unload until they get there, and then we'll park you guys together. It's incredibly difficult for us to try and skip spots, especially with teams, because like we have Jonathan Nairn and like Wadman, if he shows up, Alec Conadale, these guys come in with these big 100+ foot toter homes. It's really hard to leave spaces and try and get these guys in. So if you want to pit with somebody, either don't unload your stuff and we'll park you together, or show up at the same time.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Talk about Randy Noah. He actually submitted a question, which I guess shows that he's a little late to the party because he wrote, rules are run up with the new lights. It's like, buddy, we spoke about that like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right, super quick rundown on the light thing. We're gonna put out something in the next like week or two where I basically type out like the specifics on it. But the short rundown is all 5 lights are 3/4 of a second apart. They'll light up, evenly. They'll all go off. You go. Chase cars, feel free to jump the light. The lead car is required to leave when the lights go off. If they roll off, they stall, they do whatever off the line that looks funny. They don't go as fast as they normally would go. They have a delay. It's an automatic restart. If they stall, it's an automatic 0.
Oh.
Okay. And is the lighting system, is it a traditional drag racing Christmas tree or is it another style?
Nope. So it's a custom light that Zach Grant from Future Garage designed. It's got 5 LED lights that are about 3 inches apart, or about 3 inches around. They're about 2 inches apart on like a little board. Have a remote. You trigger it. They just come on in a sequence and then they go off.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right.
Any other questions there, Ben?
No, not that I'm seeing, which is again strange. I mean, I figured they would have been.
Well, we
asking
just
more.
did a good job covering all the details.
I guess
Maybe that's what
so.
it did. We did a
Right.
good job asking all the right
Such a great
questions.
job.
Yeah. Ryan, any questions?
I did a good job writing them. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm writing out. Like,
Must have been.
Maybe they're a little shy. Ryan, any questions from you, from both driver and a media perspective?
Not really. I definitely want to get up there and drive sometime. I got to figure out how to get the FRS out there. And for autocross, so I'd love to race.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they have the
So,
autocross. So is it autocross? Is that you guys as well, or is that a separate crew?
That's not us. We're really good friends with the 2 guys locally that run Race Chip USA. They're basically like the East Coast rep for Race Chip from overseas. They approached us about doing some autocross events at the track as like a promotional thing for Race Chip. So basically, they run the events, they put them on, they do everything. We just help them market and do some media stuff for them, and then we just let them use the track.
Nice. Nice.
So that's all Race Chip America.
Nice.
Okay. Zach, any closing remarks?
If you haven't registered for round 1, you should definitely get into it because we're running out of spots quick, and hopefully we see everybody at round 1 and we have a great year.
Oh, we will.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
will for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, Zach. Well, thank you for your time, and we really appreciate you coming out and answering all these questions that obviously a lot of people over here are curious about. I was definitely curious. Most importantly, the food trucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
That was
yeah.
for sure.
So we're
my
gonna have
number
an
one.
actual diner now. That's gonna be great.
Yeah,
The
so-
Klutch Kickers diner. I want biscuits and gravy. Put that on the menu.
Zach, any
I
comments?
wish.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, if for some reason somebody sees this and we didn't catch anything, Zach at KlutchKickers.com, or find me on Instagram or Facebook. My inbox is always open for questions, so we try not to let them go unanswered as much as we can. So hit me up if you got any questions, and I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Oh,
We'll
I
start-
got a good question, actually.
Oh, you do?
Oh, really?
wait,
okay,
hold on.
all
Hold
right.
that thought.
Go ahead.
Zach, when are you going to drive in the series?
Oh,
I don't think he
I've
can
been
in
asked
series,
this
but
question- I have been asked this question probably 100 times last year by so many different people about what is going on with my S14 and my competition car. I can promise you will probably never see me personally driving in the 100K series because I feel like it's a huge conflict.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
If I
man.
was to enter,
Gotta go for it.
we did a really good job last year of trying to separate Nick's program and Klutch Kickers so that there was never
Right.
an issue. And we've taken it even a step further by basically hiring a whole other team to run his program for 2021. For me to be able to step out of the series and have somebody do what I do to drive would be nearly impossible. So you'll see me driving the 100K series when I'm no longer a part of Klutch Kickers, which will probably never be the
It's
case.
pretty honorable. I
Yeah.
gotta
No,
say.
well, and that's but I've been on that. When I used to run the events down here, it was really hard as an organizer, and I wasn't even at that level to be able to have your brain focus on driving and focus on everything that's going on, because you'll be out on the track and you're kind of like wondering, oh, what's going on out there? And of course, everything happens when you're not there. I go out and do a couple laps. Oh, there's a guy doing donuts in the pits, of course, when I'm out on the track. So
Yeah.
Perfect example. The last fun day, our first one of the year last weekend, I got in a car for I drove in C class because C class is like the easiest class for me to step away in and have somebody run the grid and stuff. I'm going to the burnout box with a buddy of mine's car. I get in line, fire on the track.
Fire on the track. You
Wait,
gotta
hang
do
on,
it.
hang on. It's not a laughing matter. I mean, come on. You know,
No,
it's a
but
safety issue.
that's what happens. It's like
But
you
that's
pull
what
yourself
happens.
away.
I
It's
step
like
the
away.
irony
That's
is the
what
funny
happens.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like all hell breaks loose when you turn your head.
Yeah.
Yes. So you won't see me drive, but you might see somebody drive my car in the 100K series this year if it's done.
Okay.
I'm definitely down to let people drive it and like rent it out and stuff. So you might see the car, but you probably won't see me. You want to see me drive? Catch me at any of the fun days this year. I would love to just tap some doors and have some fun. And
Yeah.
I've got a stockpile of doors for my car, so bring it on.
Now, there's a ton of. I see tons of local drivers heading out to the fun days that I, like regularly.
Yeah.
That I didn't necessarily see that coming just because of the distance, but obviously with the seat time and the hot.
Yeah, I
It's
went
good
there.
testing.
It was unbelievable amounts of seat time, and I was boiling my tires because
Right.
I wasn't used to having to pull myself off. And when I got back here and I was telling you, I was taking like 3 laps. So I started watching my GoPro. Those 3 laps that I think I was doing and then, cooling down my tires really was 6.
Yeah.
'Cause you go around so fast and you see the exit and you're like, nah, one more time. Nah, one more time. And next thing you know, I get out in line and I got blisters on my tires. So,
Oh boy. I just thought of a question. So are you open again to people jumping into other vehicles, or basically switching cars in the middle of like qualifying, like what happened with Kevin Lawrence last year?
So last year was kind of a freak. It wasn't like a freak accident. I just overlooked it in the rule book originally. I didn't have a rule against it, and somebody just happened to catch the gray area for Kevin Lawrence, and I couldn't tell him no. I'm not opposed. This year, I think what we've basically done is if you go through qualifying with that vehicle, you have to stay with that vehicle through qualifying.
that's fair. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, most series go with that rule too. So I mean, it's the only thing that really makes sense.
Or what if they switch over to a stock Z, and they have to go ahead and try to finish the
So like if
qualifying
they
with that?
downgrade,
Yeah, you
so
downgrade.
you're like, well, okay, if you're downgrading it, we'll give you a shot. But no, I think just keep it,
Yeah,
keep it steady. Don't try to twist things. What are you doing?
Hey, make it even
That's what Ben does.
Yeah.
make it even
I wouldn't
more.
really find it to be a problem if I didn't know some of these teams that have like, several cars, or like Ben Hobson. He's a really good friend of mine. He's really good in his comp car, but his street vet is also insanely fast. So like, there's nothing stopping him from bringing both cars and like, one blows up, one breaks, poof, just switch chassis and go.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Little unfair advantage.
Yeah.
to
Right.
have no
Kevin had to
mechanical
work for it a little
sympathy.
bit. Like Kevin, he had to get it up here from South Florida. Like they had to go through a journey to make that happen. So
Right.
that's true.
All right. Well, I guess this is for the second and third time. Zach, thank you again. We'll be letting you go. And so, guys, don't forget to check out the Klutch Kickers on their website, their Instagram, also their apparel. And also, if you have any questions regarding the competition, the series, or anything related to Klutch Kickers, feel free to reach out to Zach and all of the parties involved. And they're more than willing to help everybody out and sort any sort of issues that you may have. And just want to give, again, another shout out, another thanks to Mr. Zach for joining us. And we'll see you at the event.
Yes, we
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
In
yeah,
3
we'll see you
weeks.
guys in a couple of weeks. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We can't
Definitely.
wait to see you guys up there again, and we'll be up there soon. And now we're gonna spin the wheel of doom.
Yeah.
And
The
see.
wheel of misfortune.
Yeah, Wheel of
y'all have fun
Misfortune.
with that one. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I was wondering if guests were subjected
Yeah, well,
to
we're
this.
gonna give you that option if you wanted to put your name on there.
Well, see, it didn't land on me, so I think I technically take Paul's spot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
you would
and-
take one.
I'm
We
good.
would give you one of Paul's spots. So
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, but he's
right.
notorious for getting it.
he's
so
got all
I-
3 weeks. It was his
I don't think
idea.
I want his spot. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what's
Alright.
funny is that we put the wheel together and we spun it twice and it landed
No,
on both
Paul.
of Paul's
Alright.
names.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we'll
Can't
get
get
There you
it.
go. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Zach. We'll catch you later.
All right. Take care.
Later, guys.
Zach.
Bye.
All right.
So, do you want to chance it, Ryan?
What
I will let you
kinda-
pick a
What
spot.
kind of consequences?
So
am I
the
looking at
consequences, I kind of, they're not so bad. I took
welder,
some.
bro.
I'm a welder, bro. You have to wear a welding mask the whole time, so that's not. Nobody's gonna see your face.
It's not horrible.
This is not horrible. The No Pee Water Challenge is.
No, let's do it. I don't want to be a
Oh, okay.
bummer,
Okay.
you know?
So I'll let you choose. Do you want to pick one of Paul's spots?
I'll be Paul's spot. I'll
Okay,
see if
so-
I get the lucky.
No, we're just gonna give you one name. So we're gonna do fair.
Okay, there we
and
go.
we're really hoping to,
It's fair. Fair
Paul,
odds.
yeah, Paul. Now Paul came up with this idea,
Yeah.
with the intent of having Noel get it every
punishing
time. Yeah,
everybody.
punishing
Yeah.
Noel.
Well,
And
no,
Noel-
it's just me.
Oh,
just
okay.
Noel. Just Noel in
Yeah.
particular.
He's never gotten it.
Okay,
But
so-
Karma is
Yeah.
a special lady.
That's tough.
I can't. I don't want to say the other thing.
Okay, Ben, you gonna spin this?
Yes,
so let me
indeed.
just go over. So the shock challenge. Did you watch last week's episode?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw Paul having to.
And then the vampire, we
something's
have a
mouth
dog collar you put on your.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that one,
yeah.
Yeah,
the,
that one's-
the Scott for a day.
Damn,
it's
I'm
just
getting
little
into a
Scott.
lot.
now I got an onion. You got to eat half an onion because I had garlic, but you know.
I kind of like onions.
Yeah. Well, so there
Oh,
you
there
go.
we go.
Pencils. We have a bunch of pencils. You'd have to sit here and sharpen the whole show. Vampire teeth, and then the chocolate challenge. I don't know if you saw Thomas Miata. He did the hot chip challenge. Did you see that on this? Thomas
No.
Miata did it. So basically, it's like a super hot chocolate that like
Okay.
yeah, it's like that ridiculously hot. So you gotta
Yeah.
eat that.
No pee water
The
challenge.
no pee water challenge is just a big thing of water.
As
and
long
you
as
can't.
you have water for me to chug down.
Oh yeah, no, I have.
We're good.
Well, no, you
Yeah.
can't. No, with the
Yeah.
chocolate, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we will. We'll
Yeah.
change it. Since you're a special guest.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Ben. I don't know if you can see
see what
that.
happens.
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see.
Actually, no, move it a little bit more towards you, Tim.
Okay, towards me.
Yeah, there we go.
All right,
There-
and
there-
I'm
Okay.
gonna stand this way to
You gonna stand
see
over- I'm gonna move
that
out of
there's
the way
no
so Ben-
unfairness.
This is going to be a really big reflection on my karma
Yeah,
too.
don't worry. All right, let me sit over here. Hello, folks. Okay, so let's get this thing started. All right. Actually, I usually spin this way. I'm gonna go this way this time around. Let's see if it changes anything. All right. Wheel of misfortune. Turn, turn, turn.
It's so much worse in the hot seat.
Show.
Oh, that was me. No, didn't get it.
Damn.
Wait, who is it?
That was close.
No, I think that's
Timmy.
Noel, isn't it? Noel?
No. Hang on.
That was on the very tip too.
See, it didn't click.
That's all right. Didn't
It
click.
didn't
All right. All right. So spinning again.
You did me wrong, Ben.
What
Now
the-
spin it for the-
Damn.
Okay, for the challenge. All right, here we go.
All right. Second spin is away.
Now
The arrow's a little off, but we'll just go by what the arrow says, and we have vampire. So you got to wear the vampire teeth. Okay. All right. It wasn't too bad.
It's
now
not
we gotta
bad.
erase my name off there and put Noel's name in there.
I thought we're
Nope.
okay. All right.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so the odds increase more and more.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
I didn't catch that part. That's awesome.
You can't avoid it forever.
That's great.
Let's try these out.
Yeah, if you kept it that way, it'll just keep repeating on Paul over and over.
There we
Okay.
go.
So we'll just we'll put it on one of your names there.
Yeah, we don't need that anymore. Put the-
drool a little bit, but that's okay.
Do you want a napkin?
Drac.
Do you want-
You mean Brack?
Drac, yeah.
Brack, yeah.
Brack.
The Brack show.
You know what I said?
You said Drac.
Did I say Brack?
You said Drac like
Drac?
Dracula, but
Well,
Drac.
What kind of is then? So I'm kind of like a mix.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
there
here you go.
Yeah.
You guys have to do more talking than me.
we're gonna make you talk the whole time,
Oh, man.
slurping your saliva there.
Just lean in.
Okay, so what's our topics? We covered the most thing, and now we have a special guest, Ryan Deering.
What's going on?
No, not too much.
Just to be clear, that was Ryan Deering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
making sure.
We're just translating.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all.
So
My first question is, how
Yeah.
do you like pronounce?
Oh man,
You're-
somehow I knew that was gonna be the first question.
yeah, because they keep having to correct me about it, and I'm just like, right.
I don't think there technically is a way, but the way I would think it would be RYFD, as it is just like my name essentially.
Okay.
But it's just in letters. Yeah. So
So
You get some of the
RYFD. So
Yeah.
that's the pronunciation.
we gotta see
Right.
this. Hang
Okay,
on.
and how did that come about?
so like the original intention isn't that deep. It's just that I was sick of trying to find names that I couldn't get on every platform I wanted.
Okay.
And I just finally found one that was like unique to me, and it wasn't like Ryan.frs, or something like completely not me. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was just the one thing I could find that I could get everywhere. So yeah.
Okay. Let me see what's going on over here, Timmy. What are you doing?
With the Dracula teeth, that's impressive. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Hang on,
Okay.
hang on. All right, so I want to see you drink that. Like,
Oh God.
Fine.
He's definitely handling it better.
Oh yeah, I go pro at this stuff.
He's so fully functioning right now.
oh
Oh
man.
boy. All right, so the FRS.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So how's that project coming along?
I love it. I love where it sits. I mean, I feel like a lot's been done to it to get it to like an OEM plus kind of arena where it is right now. It's like it's pretty driftable. I know it really well. I can haul ass in it and like a autocross kind of scenario too. It's like I feel like I've kept it simple, and I don't know. It's just I don't want to push it too far, right? Like I could go big angle and turbo and ridiculous stuff, but it's just not what I need at the moment. So right now it's great. It's just a seat time car and not like any huge plans for it. Like until the engine blows, that's
Or transmission.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the transmissions are $250 for my car, so it's
Really?
like,
Really?
hop down the street,
Wow.
you know, like
Oh, wow.
hit somebody up on Craigslist where it's sitting in their garage for. There's one that's been for sale forever. That's still up.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's like it's pretty. The engines aren't. I'd say cheap to replace though, because like drop in is like 3,500, 4,000,
Oof.
pretty easily.
Well,
So-
that's about just about any modern engine. Is
Right,
pretty
yeah.
expensive.
right. but-
Basically, you swap it when you blow it.
But then when you think about LSs, right, you can find 5.3s on the street for like $800, $1,000.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
it makes you debate, like, okay, if this thing does go,
Yeah.
like, do I just put it to the side for a while and work on it, you know? So, but I'm keeping that to the side because if I keep it in its current form, it should be pretty good for a while. So,
Yeah. So we have an individual here who has had a struggle to find a vehicle that is to his liking.
yeah.
So would you say that the FRS or the Neo 86, whatever you want to call it, would be a vehicle for you to recommend to somebody who perhaps uses it on a daily basis to notarize documents, or
yeah.
and then like on the weekly
Totally.
on the weekdays he notarizes, and on the weekends he just goes to the track.
Why not? I mean, I'm an accountant, so, I mean...
Oh snap! Watch out!
I pull up to meetings in the FRS. Like it's great. I love
Right.
it. And like for now, it's like it's the reason why I only drive the FRS. It's like I could get a truck and like make it a complete dedicated car, but I just don't want the hassle. And right now, it's so easy to just throw wheels and tires in the car, go to the track, beat the shit out of it, drive back home. And you know, I live in West Palm, and lately I've found it's not that hard to just hop on 95 and go to OSW. It's like 2 hours flat from my house.
Yeah, it's not that
So,
bad.
It's not that bad.
It's 2 hours flat, and you know too, the road from 95 in between us and Orlando is like not that bad. Like,
No, it's not.
Not at all.
you're
It's not like more south.
yeah.
But I live in Miami, and I-95 in Miami is
yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, it's a battleground for sure. It's just like that meme where the further south you go. and
Yeah,
that
Bahana. We live, we die, we live again.
That meme is so real. I even felt it on the way here.
Yeah, it just
Oh,
starts
wow.
getting tighter
Slowly
and tighter.
encroaching, yeah, slowly.
Yeah.
So you would say it has plenty of space for your documents and your pens
Oh,
and
tons. Yeah,
Tons? Okay.
I
All
wouldn't
right,
recommend
just-
it for families or kids or anything like that, for sure. I mean, my brother owned the exact same car as me.
My mom might be selling hers.
13 FRS. So
Really?
his is a 13 black FRS and mine's a 14 black FRS. But he recently had to sell it, you know, for kids and you know that kind of deal. So
You know what though?
I'm trying to
Ben,
avoid that. So.
My mom might be selling hers soon. It's got like 20,000 miles on it.
we got to talk
There you go.
later about that.
There
Oh.
you go.
Yeah, we will
It's that,
talk.
remember, my mom had wanted FRS.
No way.
Yeah.
You're serious. Your mom has an FRS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had
She got it like when it first came out.
Yeah,
right?
and I flew to Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, because she wanted that. What is it? A burnt orange.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they didn't have it in the manual, so I flew up there and I drove it back down.
No way.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, she had gotten into an accident shortly after, and so she really wasn't able to enjoy it like she wanted to because her
Right.
back got messed up. But It's just been sitting. Really, I mean, my dad
Wow.
drives every once in a while. Paul was driving for a little bit. But yeah, I think they're going to be trying to sell it soon. I don't know. I'll
Probably
let you
could
know.
have. It could be 20,000 miles or so.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah,
and it's
that
like,
could easily be like one of the lowest out there. 'Cause
Yeah.
they get
Yeah,
used like
definitely.
crazy. Like mine's like 70, but I have friends that are in the hundreds. So.
yeah, but this is what? It's 2020. What was it? 2013. 2013. Yeah,
Yeah.
2013,
Yeah.
2014.
Mine's a 14, so yeah, it's had some time for sure. So
Yeah. No, I mean they make good daily drivers. They're not bad on
Yeah.
gas, and they're easy. You know,
Yeah,
they're-
but would you buy one?
me as a drift car that I'm planning to get, no.
No. I'm not talking about as a drift
Ooh.
car.
As a
I'm
drift
talking about
car,
a vehicle that
it's the
can
most
do, you
exciting,
do double
I'd
duty,
say.
It is.
notary duty and track duty.
But that's not what I'm looking for. So
Yeah, but let me tell you something. That chassis is a great chassis.
Yeah.
it's a good chassis. Yes.
The chassis is fast as shit, in my opinion. And because I've driven a Z and I tried to drift a Z, one of Jackson's Z's, one of the rentals.
Oh well, yeah. That's,
Oh,
So,
wait, hold
I know
on.
it's not the same thing. right?
Relax there.
But that was a bolt-on Z, right? My car is a bolt-on FRS. I'd take my bolt-on FRS any day of the week over that Z. Like just the way it handles is just entirely different. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just different, and I wouldn't give that up now that I have felt that. I guess.
Yeah, Jackson Z's are like, it's like they have herpes or something.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, you know. They kinda
Wasn't the best
dirty.
2 laps of my life, but I tried my ass off. You know, it was the kart track at PBIR. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I tried because actually I can say I drifted that track.
Yeah.
There you go. And so you started off just filming drift events.
Yeah,
right?
just filming because I was doing autocross and I was having a ball, and then I saw the U.S. drift circuit events were going on, and like I obviously wanted to be a part of it. Like it's way cool. I used to skateboard back in the day, so like
Yeah.
obviously there's
That extreme sport
yeah,
vibe.
there's
Huh?
huge.
Yeah, there's some sort of translation to
Totally,
drifting. It
yeah.
works perfect.
I was always the filmer dude back in the skateboard days, so it just kind of clicks like that. And then I just saw, like, especially at the first event, I'm like, wow, there's really not that many media people out here, but this is cool as shit. And like, these dudes are like so close to, you know, wrecking,
Right.
ruining their car like every half second. And like, I thought it kind of like deserved something. So like to this day, I still go to events and make videos. And like, I hope, I remember talking to you at one of my first events about this. Like, I think it was like, I want drivers to want to be in my videos.
Right.
Right. So that's the main goal, and I feel like I'm finally like
And
sort of getting there.
So what is your YouTube channel?
It's the same thing as my name, RYEVD, RYEVDEE.
Okay.
Hopefully it's
So-
spelled that way.
Wait, what?
We'll have to put the link in the
It's
description.
along those lines. It's
Yeah,
along
We'll
those
put the
lines.
link in the
on there.
description.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mix of doing media. Now I'm like just gonna be putting out pure media videos. Like if you saw the OKC video,
Okay.
it's gonna be more like that. Like if I do get to film Klutch Kickers, that'd be great. That would be the next one. But then also my driving too, right? Because when I first started doing YouTube, I never wanted it to be like a faceless channel. Right? There's a lot of faceless channels, and it's like really easy to make a replay channel, right? Or like
Right.
I could go to every drift event and just stand there with a tripod and then post 20-minute videos, and like people would love it, but I wouldn't be fulfilled, right?
Right.
So like I just made that a point. So and it kind of got me suckered into driving myself. So
Yeah. So that kind of, you got the bug and then you started doing it.
Yeah.
So how was that transition? Was it scary, exciting, or?
oh man, it's really scary, but then I kept thinking about how much I was risking in autocross, and like it doesn't sound like you're risking a lot, but in road racing, when I did my first track day, I was like, I'm hauling ass. Like this little mistake and the car is written off. Whereas
Yeah.
like,
Easily.
and I've had enough experience in simulation to where like I've done iRacing, like I still have a subscription, so like I still race every now and then, but it's very competitive and you learn a lot about like real racing. And so I've been involved in racing on a simulation basis. I've always felt that drifting was just safer because
Really?
you're in control. You can shut it down when you want to.
Oh,
a
right.
lot
There's
of
you're
times,
not. There's no time.
Yeah, and you're not most of the time you're not hauling so much ass
Right.
to the point where
Right.
everything's gone if you
Right.
get that sliver wrong. But road racing really is, you're on that limit. If you watched how Senna drove Like, just
Yeah.
watch how Senna drives and tell me that's not the scariest thing you've ever
Yeah,
seen.
no, that is terrifying.
So yeah, it kind of scared me, especially being in the FR. And that video is still up. It's my first track day, and so far it's been my only track day.
Oh, wow.
It is at PBIR hauling ass and hitting the brakes hard. I fried the OEM brakes in the FRS. Like,
Yeah, brakes
I
are-
went out and I ignored all the forums, and I'm like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to replace the brake fluid. What do you mean?
What is that? What a dot?
This car does great in autocross. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
that can't possibly be a factor. But yeah, melted them in like a lap.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I run the RU71s for autocross, so it's sticky as shit.
yeah.
So very, very sticky,
Well,
very demanding.
But
Yeah.
it's good experience.
Drifters probably don't. I mean, they don't like autocross generally, or like I don't think they put a lot of merit into it.
I agree with that.
But if every drifter autocross their car, they would actually like do so much better.
I agree
at
with that.
Drift
Yeah,
events.
I would
I
agree
believe
with that.
so. I
If you
believe
tried to haul ass in your drift car, you'll learn so much about it, like so
It
fast.
pushes your car to
and the
limit
things that
more.
are wrong with it, like pretty quick too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a different attack method, and anytime when I'm instructing, I can always tell. As soon as somebody says, "Oh, I autocross or I road race," I'm like, "All right, we're going to be going really fast."
yeah.
I just know it, and
Yeah.
they go too fast.
True.
Yeah.
You know,
can
and
see
and with, especially on the go kart track, I'm like, "Oh, you're going too fast.
Yeah.
You know, you need to slow down." But I already know it. As soon as they say that, I already know what to expect.
Yeah.
So,
And a lot of time they kind of limit their angle because they are looking for that speed.
Yeah, I do
you know?
that all the time.
well, they understeer.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they end up understeering.
Yeah.
Yep. I just watched my recent, my most recent footage back, which was trying to qualify and get into B class, which I did do, but the way I did it, I think, was being so conservative that it was like such a shallow line, you know, and
Yeah.
like I'm babying it, and I'm taking advantage of what I know and like kind of playing it safe, right?
Right, but you got towards you
But that's
accomplished
not
your
like
goal.
drifting, right? That's not a drift mentality to get to point
Well-
A to point B in the fastest time. So
I mean,
Yeah.
Playing it safe is what's good about what you're talking about is you say, I probably should have won more balls to the wall.
yeah,
But that mindset when it comes to competition, pacing yourself is.
Yeah.
Right? So that type
True.
of mindset, to have the mindset, listen, I'm going to take it easy, I'm going to pull back a little bit, accomplish what I need to accomplish, is a very useful skill to be able to do as a drifter.
right. To hopefully hold consistency, I would imagine.
Right.
Too.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because the consistency and just you see a lot of times where people go to qualify. I'm like spitting stuff out, so I can't sell it.
It's getting hard now. Yeah.
But they go to qualify and they want to set the world on fire.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you say, listen, you just get to the track, put down a decent lap, get points on the board, then go balls to the wall. So having that mentality is good.
And,
Yeah.
and touching on that, I think what many people, especially in a competitive field, what many competitors fail to do is, oh, hello.
Sorry, I gotta get somebody's chips out of my.
Okay.
So maybe not fully.
no,
functional.
that's fine.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Um,
Thank you.
But yeah, but what many competitors fail to do is come up with a strategy.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Just wing
the
it.
experienced guys, they'll have a strategy and they'll use it against you. Because they're trying to find whatever way they
you can
can
tell.
to find a win.
You can tell when you watch them. Yeah, I mean, the experienced guys, just like you say, yeah, you can tell when you watch them that they were thinking about it the whole time. And yeah, it's a premeditated motion. Even though like drift from an outside perspective seems like super reckless, but like in reality, the driver behind it, it's like super premeditated, and they were thinking about that motion already, like way back there.
Yeah.
you know, and it's
Right.
pretty crazy.
And it goes to show, like, especially at the upper levels of drifting, the pro guys that go to Klutch Kickers or Formula Drift, whatever, all those guys deserve to be in FD or whatever, right? But not all of them have that mentality where they scale back and they think about how they're gonna attack the track. A lot of times they just go and they're like, I gotta put down a wild run because I want 100 points.
Like JTP.
JTP
is that a
is
good
one
example?
of JTP is one of those drivers.
But I do like
Unreal.
that. I think it's great to an extent.
And I'll say, even Chelsea is one of those guys. He's
Right,
incredible, but he'll always let it get to him.
What did Hasbro say?
He Chelsea'd himself.
Yeah.
I think the competition though scares the shit out of me in the drift world, because I remember my first few drift events being so nervous and like just a wreck even thinking about it. And then to think about competitive side, like, and even like hopping on the line at OSW and there's a ton of people on the wall. It's like, oh man, like I remember my first few times. It was horrible. The competition scenario, 100K on the line, Klutch Kickers, like for instance, a hurricane on top of you. I don't know what these guys are going through, and most of the time I'm just happy that I'm filming it, you know?
What is going on? We have a star-studded
We got a
episode.
Wrangler.
Burning up.
We have
What is happening here? I'm just... What?
Huh?
you're here.
You're already here. I
There's a
mean,
chair
what
right
the
here.
heck?
No, there's a chair right
Yeah,
here.
take a seat or somewhere. You gotta have to share mics with somebody. I don't even know.
No. There you go. You got to turn it.
Which one is that?
That's
one?
yeah, right there.
Oh,
But we gotta
gosh.
be careful. This thing is kind of jinkety.
I'll have to adjust the cameras. But what were we talking about? I lost my train of
We're
thought.
talking about competition.
Competition, yeah. So when you're at the when you're at the Klutch Kickers or any sort of competition where you have like everybody, I mean, all eyes are on you.
Yeah. I can never remember.
And then, not to mention, you got to make sure that everything's in order, not just yourself as the driver, but also as in your vehicle.
Yeah, and you build a car up to a certain point. I've seen it enough where you build up a car to a certain point and you kind of need more than just you. You know, like when you're making 500-600 horsepower, stuff breaks like all the time. Like, you know, I know Randy pretty well at this point. I think we all know Randy.
Yeah.
Like, goes through shit all the time, right? I mean, car makes power. Like, I've seen every scenario of people go to the 110th degree of building it out, right? So nothing goes wrong.
Yeah.
It's still gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's just when you're pushing the limits like that, it ends up requiring so much more behind it too. So
So
I feel for them.
so it's touching back on like what avenue to go with, because obviously we spoke about earlier about this individual who's having trouble
Yeah.
finding a vehicle. So what about if a vehicle isn't the right avenue for them to explore? What about it on the simulation side? Like, do you feel like if they
100%.
can't afford a vehicle,
100%.
should they go and explore maybe a simulation rig?
100%. I think my initial rig was like probably $500-600 like total invested for the first rig. But you kind of like you build it up over time, right? So like you see people's rigs and I think people get intimidated because you think that it's just like drifting in real life. You see somebody's setup and you think, man, I need all that to drift? Shit. Like, oh, I need Kevin Lawrence's R32 to drift. Like,
Wow,
damn,
right.
this is going to take a while. I'm going to have to build, you know, I'm going to have to take 3 years to build this car.
Yeah.
Like, your sim does not need to be that. And I think you guys have seen most of my driving experience, right? And that's all been built off of, like, this $200 wheel that's just, like, stuck to my desk. And I still use paddle shifters. I don't use like, you know, all I have is like a clutch and a pedal, right? So you can get away with a lot in the sim world, and it teaches a lot if you choose the right games.
So what would you recommend?
It's by far the #1 drift simulator out right now is Assetto Corsa, and I would say it's the only pure drift simulator. Whereas there's lots of games out there, and there is a big difference between a game and a simulator. Like iRacing, for instance. iRacing has physics involved in it that was built in from laser scanners. They literally go out to the track and laser scan the whole place. It's accurate to the T. So that's not the same thing as Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
Right? Forza Motorsport did not do all that, right? They just kind of guessed and they got most things right. So, and they also, in those games, they're going to put in aids behind it to not, assists, right, to help you out in the background that you don't see. So, like, a really popular game right now is that Drift X Racing or Car X Racing or what.
Yeah. But we have a strong advocate of that game over here.
All right, so I think it probably can teach you, just like for Horizon 4 can teach you basic understanding. So, okay, I need a counter steer now, but Assetto Corsa is so much more involved that I'm literally doing all the same things that you do in tandems. I'm clutch kicking,
Okay.
I'm left foot braking. Oh shit, this guy, oh shit, he just breaking up or like just slows down on you all of a sudden in front of you. You gotta do all the same things. Yank the e-brake, push in the clutch, and if you don't do it, the game does not forgive you. You crash. The guy behind you crashes into you. Like you ruin an 8-car tandem. That was like that was sick. I was just in the lobby earlier with Scott, like grip oil guy, and dude, it was sick. It's great. You hop in with people too that you would in iRacing. You would hop in with people who are like professional.
We
race car
wouldn't normally
drivers.
come across.
Yeah, you would never, and sometimes you would never know. The NASCAR guys hop in there all the time in iRacing, so a lot of the fans are very into iRacing because they have the opportunity to hop in with.
They had NASCAR had a few
professionals.
races on iRacing
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the whole pandemic thing, and
No, get closer.
this is kind of weird. It's
Come on, put it by your
Put
mouth.
it up.
no, you can't turn it. It'll fall off. So anyway, but yeah, NASCAR was doing that for a while, where they would. This is funnier than the vampire teeth, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
There
Got
you
it.
go.
All right.
No, yeah, they partnered.
Cylindrical things. near
They
your mouth.
straight up partnered with iRacing, and that
Yeah.
goes to what I was saying earlier about all the lengths that iRacing goes through to have an organization like NASCAR be okay with hosting an official race online.
Yeah.
They got big technology in iRacing, so it's one of my favorite games to play. But I will say there is somewhat a barrier to simulation because it does to an extent it does require a decent machine. So yeah, but it's just a lot of know-how, I think.
But what it helps you is somebody has no experience to get that a little bit of muscle memory, because when you have
Right.
somebody that has no experience, they don't understand the letting go of the steering wheel, letting the car
Totally.
counter steer. So it kind of gets that out of the way to
Totally.
trying to do it on the road. So when you do, you can apply that muscle memory to real life.
And I think the value in the Sims is teaching you the real life mistakes, right? Like when I'm sure you, because you grew up learning drifting
Just
in real life.
Yeah, I never.
right?
I'm horrible on
Right.
a
So
sim.
before I ever did a burnout or did a donut, I've crashed 300,000 cars. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so like before I even thought about it, I was already kind of doing it, right? So and a lot of the younger generation more and more is being like brought up in it too. So I think you're gonna see like a huge influx of talent, like especially in the driving department.
Oh, it's already happening. I mean, there's plenty of drivers that I know that before they got onto the first time on the track, they were already like well versed in sims.
Right.
Who?
And, well, Camilo's one of those guys.
I know a great Matt the Ginge is a great example.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know if he was always purely sim, but I know that he definitely preaches it. And him and Steven, who like Steven's helped me early on kind of learn how to drift too, because he came from sim. But pretty much everybody I know who's from sim is an animal. And then like I don't know, Matt is crazy. Matt has definitely impressed me a lot of times with his driving and his techniques. That you can tell that there's just so much investment in time, right? You can tell the seat time was there. Whether it was real or whether it was digital, it was there. Like, because the experience is clearly there.
But there are things that you can get away with the sim that you can't get away in real life.
Very true.
Because I know when I was talking with Jackson,
Very true.
Jeff Jones practices on sim.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that Jeff Jones does on the sim that I know Chris is like, hey, he does this thing in the sim. When he drives the track in real life, he's still doing it. And it doesn't work. He'll tell him, hey, don't do that. You know, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
In some cases, I'm always surprised at like trying things I do in the sim in real life and seeing if they work or not. And yeah, like so far, a lot of them have worked, and it's been kind of crazy. But yeah, it's weird trying to find the in between. But I think it's made me a better driver in both arenas, learning what's real and then what is simulation. So yeah, it allows you. I'm sure, just like Jeff. When I'm on the sim, you know, I'm probably taking advantage of certain things I can do that you could never do in real life. But yeah.
Of course, it's about I would say 75 to 85% there. You know what I mean? Mostly, but I mean, there's pro drivers. that are being trained on sims. Gabby just mentioned Connor Shanahan over in Europe. He's an Irish driver in the Drift All Stars series, and he rips. And then there's also virtual competitions.
Well, I think if you're drifting, especially with how expensive drifting is, you owe it to yourself to have a sim rig, right? Because your car's not always going to be working.
Yep.
Right.
You're not always gonna have money for tires.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, like I have endless supply of tires on my computer, right? and they never overheat.
Right.
Never overheat. I never have to drive through a puddle. I never have to check pressures. It's a perfect car every time. But yeah, I will say it can't teach you the real life things like that. But luckily, I think I got a head start with like autocross and stuff like that, with checking pressures and having an idea of like, okay, this feels wrong. This doesn't feel right, or knowing why something is understeering. Or oversteering too much, or those things have definitely helped me a lot. And I feel bad because I don't put any of that in my videos, and then sometimes I'm just all of a sudden I'm just shredding, and it's like I'd probably just change my tire pressure.
maybe there you go. Maybe you need to start adding that to your new videos.
Yeah, I'd like to. This coming weekend, I have a private day on Sunday, and
you're going to, or you're going tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
yeah, there's quite a few. There's quite a few with a lot of people that. Yeah, we all know. But yeah, Sunday, there's going to be a guy there with the FRS as well. It's going to be his first time drifting. So I might kind of work him in and like, this is how you set up your FRS. But I don't know, lately with YouTube, like I want to do what I want to do. And like, I feel less and less of a duty to like make tutorials for people or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because like it did feel good. I did do a lot of that initially, but it's like, I don't know. I don't need to change the world in that way.
No, you just do what you want to do and make it the way you want to make it, and that's what's important.
Because when I do get messages, it's like, yo, I saw you drifting the shit out of your FRS. Like, thanks. Like now I want to do it too, or like I'm helping a lot of different people get into it for the first time. Like like the one I'm talking about, coming Sunday. Like it's not the only one. There's lots of people like that that I've tried to hopefully bring in the fold. So. I'd love to do that 1,000 times and do a dumb tutorial that people ask me questions about a million, years
Why not?
in a row.
So as far as the car goes, you came from autocross, and then you went into drifting. What are some of the things that you had to make changes on the car to facilitate? Because it's not a full-on drift car, but it's just kind of a double duty kind of thing.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. It's definitely evolved a lot. But yeah, I think I would be kidding myself if I said like it's not like stock. Oh yeah, stock, it's fine. You can drift it stock. Like you definitely can. But like I worked my ass off to drift it stock, and when I handed it off to, or you guys, Marco Garza. Marco Garza is the only other drifter who's driven my car. He might even be the only other person besides my brother who's ever driven the car. But even he was having a hard time with it, like at the same learner's day I was at. So. It's a tough car stock, so like headers definitely help a lot just to bring the power to a decent level, or to just help the dip, because the dip is a real thing. Hopefully equal length headers, and don't be an idiot and buy unequal length because you just like to listen to shit. I don't get it. I don't get that. Like I have equal length setup. I have like a very nice equal length setup for the car that essentially makes the most power you can possibly make in a beyond the fact that I'm too lazy to get it like very properly tuned. So besides that, it's really good power wise. Coilovers, a little bit of angle with inner tie rod stuff, which is pretty common now. I think BMWs now kind of have that solution now with the inner tie rod.
Spacing them out.
Yeah, exactly. A little spacer on the inside of the tie rod. That's pretty much it. Now I'm just trying to like add speed a little bit because like I'm having fun. So
what tires you on?
Bigger wheels up front now. Up front, I'm running Indy 500s because I got them with the RPF ones I just got.
Oh, okay.
The Firestones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I've actually seen like, who was it? Joker Performance.
Oh, okay.
He was running them in the front on round 5, and like I have a big theory that that's why he did so well in the rain, because like those things they're pretty great in the rain. But yeah, not grippy at all, but something that I can use for now to.
And in the rear, what do you use in the rear?
In the rear, I use like so it's 245s up front, Indy 500s, and the rear it's 215. Like right now, what the fuck are they even called? You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Ironmans. The
yeah, those are good.
the eye moves. Yeah, I actually like. They're pretty good. Like they've never let me down until like I abused the crap out of them, and then it was my first time I never used a puddle to cool off my tires. I just hot lapped it, and then
If you ever drive the Klutch Kickers, you'll need to do
Yep,
that
yep.
for sure.
I just thought of something. I mean, a random off-topic question. Why can't they come up with like some sort of like trap netting system for like the end of turn 1 at Klutch Kickers, so that way when people like take off from there, they could just trap them. So instead
Or
of
just
them
like
going
a cord,
off track.
like an aircraft carrier has a little cable.
yeah,
You-
yes,
And then you
so grab them back,
Yeah, pull them back.
grab them back by the axle.
We'll have to bring that up. Yeah.
yeah, I
A little
mean,
hook on the. It's required to put a hook on the roof. So like it hooks on the roof and it kind of yanks you back.
I make it.
It'd be pretty hilarious.
That would be
or a
funny.
parachute, electronic parachutes on every car.
Or just a
Pop
jump.
stops.
Or a jump.
no, that's gonna
So
make
like
it
yeah,
worse.
I saw this
This
on
is
Facebook.
your penalty.
yeah.
I saw this on Facebook where somebody was proposing that they put like a bank at the end of the corner, so that way people could like go up like. I don't know if that's a great idea, but
Not if you go on a fun day and you watch people go off, and I've been off
Yeah.
that side. So
yeah, if you put a bank, they're just gonna fly
I don't
into
know.
oblivion.
Yeah.
So
That scares me.
yeah. But going back to the car itself, how's the factory LSD holding up? I mean,
Oh, I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah, it's
there's
really
a torsion,
cool.
right?
Yeah, or it's like a fake torsion, supposedly, something like that. Or no, it is a torsion. Yeah, I used to think it was like a 1.5, but yeah, eventually I would want like a two-way CAS or something like that, just to do it clean. Like, 'cause I've been in tons of welded diff cars, and obviously it being a dual-purpose car, I want it to always be able to like do a track day or like
of course.
hop on the road and just have fun.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, we all know people are like, you can do that with a welded diff.
No.
Yeah,
I think I know somebody.
It's like, yeah, but everybody turns their head at you when you're at Publix, and yeah,
I've done autocross in a welded diff.
yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, I've seen full-on drift cars do autocross, and the next thing I want to do at autocross is get Randy to come out and race me. So I
Oh.
think that'd be cool. He said yes, so just saying, he said yes.
He's always up for a challenge.
Yeah, he'd be down.
Yeah.
Well, and now Cosmo Tires sponsors the PBIR Auto Track.
That's right.
Autocross
It
track.
does.
So that's now officially
Mucho
the
Macho.
Mucho Macho Autocross Track or something like that. So
Mucho
I like
macho.
mucho machos.
if
That
the
ran
car
those.
survives, if it survives on Sunday, I'm gonna bring it to autocross, which is on Friday. So
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
it's a fast car too. It could have been the PBIR autocross champion for 2020 if I
Wow.
wouldn't have gotten into drifting.
Oh wow.
But it would have been a tough fight between
dang
me
drifting.
and my buddy.
Yeah, it
but
wouldn't be the
it would've
first
been
time.
fun.
It wouldn't be the first time that drifting kills somebody's dreams.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Ruins their life.
Yeah. Not the first, not the last. That's for sure.
Yeah. No question.
Yeah.
So, hearing what Ryan had to say,
Yeah.
have you decided on what you want to do? Do you want to go with a car or go with a sim rig?
I'll say with the FRS though too, like it's very nitpicky. Like you are now a Subaru owner.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to adhere to that shit. So oil changes every 3,000. You know, like change your fluids as much as possible. You know, so it is a nitpicky. It's not a car that you just can't care about, I'd say. And I think that's why I haven't broken anything yet. It's because it's up in the air every week practically. So
Nice.
I keep that in mind.
But to answer your question, Ben, no, real car.
Oh, snap.
Real car? Is that what you said?
I think it's
Yeah,
because you
real-
haven't experienced a real sim.
Yes, he has.
I've driven his. I've gone to other friends' houses. They're fun.
Really? All right, were we? Yeah, sick, dude. See, that's how it is in a setup course. That you hop in lobbies with people you know all the time, and you don't know it like until you connect. So
Hey, it's super fun, and I see for the money you can't beat it. But
yeah,
I'd rather have a real car.
no,
That's
you can
just
be
me.
so you can learn so much to the point where I think you can skip a lot of steps in the real life scenarios for sure.
Yeah, my brother started
hopefully.
building one, but then he got tired of spinning out all the time. he
Yeah,
got the goggles, but
The
he
VR.
hasn't- he-
Yeah.
yeah, he hasn't finished it though.
That can be like a blessing and a curse. I've seen some VR that's really good, and I've seen some VR that's like I don't know how they do it. Like, have you seen like the live streams where it's like shaking everywhere? I'm like,
Yeah.
It gets really
because that's how the
disorienting.
person is seeing it too. So it's like, how do you live like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah. But I have a fun time just visualizing it. Like when I'm playing, like I just have a normal little 27-inch gaming monitor, and like I get so sucked up into it that like you're there, you know, like I'm literally in the seat. You know what I mean? I'm sure you know the
Yeah.
feeling.
I
Like,
got a 55-inch, like 3 feet away.
right, exactly, yeah.
And when you put the neck effects, it turns.
Yeah, I have the
It's
same thing. Yep. So you don't have many blind spots either, like which used to be a thing. It used to be like fixed camera, but now with what we're talking about, like the camera, depending where your wheel turns, automatically looks that way.
good. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it
So
rotates
like when
the-
I'm drifting this way, it's gonna help me look that way a little bit, and then same. So it's really cool.
Interesting.
It's gotten advanced to the point where you don't need VR. Yeah.
Agree.
So Gabby, you got the trick car up front, or are you gonna go pick the trailer up after this?
I got the FJ up front, so we can go get the trailer after here.
Okay, but you don't need me, do you?
I just need the key for the lock.
Oh, it's in a little battery thing.
But yeah, if it's a real car, get a Z.
I'll go over there
Whatever.
with you if you want.
Right?
Yeah, we'll go after.
Who gives a shit? Like if it has to be, if it doesn't matter what it is, Z. I
No,
think,
but you
hands down.
forget this is going to be used for notary needs.
No, it's
so he
not.
needs the space.
No, it is.
I don't know. It's like,
He's got a big stamp. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
well, Z's have more room than the FRS, I'd imagine. So
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's not gonna be a daily driver. Ben is just making up a story.
Can't do that Ford anymore.
It drives. Still drives.
Yeah, but it's leaking everywhere.
It's fine. It's a Honda. It'll.
We left a puddle like
it's
this
true.
big
Hondas
on
just
my
last
driveway.
forever.
That's fine. That means it still had oil in it. It's good.
How you doing? So, what do you, I guess, I think you touched on it, but like,
Yeah.
what are you looking to do with I mean, you're not wanting to do tutorials anymore,
No.
right?
No.
But, I mean, but at the same time, you do want to cover some things about what you're doing. So I guess a natural progression would probably be if you decide to go further along with the drifting, you'll be doing some more of that kind of coverage.
Yeah, I'd like to only do like if I had my choice, I'd be at a drift event every weekend. I'd be filming a video every weekend or driving myself every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like just flat out. I used to do like car shows and stuff like that. Like I don't care about parked cars. I don't care how much camber you have. Like I could give two shits. Like if it doesn't haul ass on the track, like I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like and it's just I think drifting almost spoiled me in a way like that. Like once you get involved in it a few times, it's like nothing kind of compares. So that's the kind of the hard part though at the same time because making content around drifting all the time is pretty expensive if you're just gonna be driving yourself.
Yeah.
But media kind of lets me do both. So, and then I really do enjoy making the videos. Like it's super sick when the drivers, like I don't know, when they enjoy it, I'm definitely happy. I could care less about the general populace. It's more so the drivers. I hope they feel cool. Like
Right,
That's the
because
end
you're
result.
showcasing them.
yeah. That's hopefully the end result is they feel like a badass for being in it.
So then, I guess, and this is obvious, must have been a question that's been asked already a couple of times to you from different individuals. So then, what would be your suggestion or advice if they want to go about with starting a channel on their own?
Start with what you have and start as soon as possible, because I think too many people worry about what they need, and they just need to like hit record and just start, because the process is already hard enough. Video is not easy, and I don't think, or I mean, I would say it can be easy, but to an extent, it's very, very difficult because like some of the videos I do, they take hours of editing, like beyond what people I think understand it could possibly take. Like the OKC video was probably like 12 hours of editing, so that's probably
wow.
like 12 hours of just sitting down and looking at footage and like, no, I don't like the way that one goes into the next one. I think it could go better with the other 1,000 clip I have, or one out of a million. So yeah, it's very difficult. It's daunting. So you might as well start as soon as you can to get that process rolling. Like, oh, you don't have paid software. Well, Windows Movie Maker is free. iMovie is free. You have a camera on your phone. You might have a GoPro already. You have everything you need to do it most of the time. So, and more, especially now with Premiere, they just made Premiere Rush, which is a phone app, so you can exclusively run a YouTube channel off of a phone. There's like multi-million subscriber YouTube channels that to this day still film on their phone. So if you guys know Whistling Diesel, you should definitely look him up. He's like one of the, he's fucking awesome. I love that guy. But like to this day, he buys like $100,000 trucks and trashes them to shit, but he films it all on like an iPhone. And like he only recently got cameras and shit. So it's kind of crazy. He waited till 2 million subscribers to get a camera. So if you're, if you're waiting to make a YouTube channel because you don't have a camera, like it's like invalid essentially. And like I said, there's a lot to learn, right? So and like I'm still awkward as shit to this day. It's still hard to make an intro. It's still hard to like come up with something. Sometimes, like if you're, when you're having a bad day, you might not want to make that shit. When you have a bad session drifting, you might not have the best happy go YouTube attitude. So it's there's a lot you got to learn and you got to figure out. So like I said, just press record.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did with with this show. We were talking about, even if it just ends up being us and 5 other people watching us, we talk about cars and have a good time just getting together. Really.
Yeah, are you doing it already? Yeah, in a sense, right? So that's usually the case where I think it works out the best. It's like something you're already doing that you're having fun with.
Okay, now it opened up an opportunity. Sorry. Open up an opportunity to do. Now we're doing a live stream of Klutch Kickers.
Yeah, exactly.
Had we not started a show,
what if you never started? Would you have that opportunity? Yeah, who knows? Yeah. If I wouldn't have started hopping on with events like you guys, would I even have the chance to do Klutch Kickers Media? Which I still don't know. So
I'm sure.
I really hope I get on track. We'll find out.
I mean, they already know you, so it's different,
Yeah. Well, I don't want that to be the decision, though.
Yeah, I get it. You want to be on your merit, not
judge me on my shitty content. Not off me knowing you.
Let me ask you, how was the OKC event? Because there was, we had a hard time trying to figure out like what was going on.
Like what the feedback was generally?
The live stream, we couldn't really, we didn't know what was.
So I'd say like the people on the ground, the spectators who were there in person, I think like had a ball in time because Dustin did the announcing and like he was jazzed up the entire day. I don't know. He kept me jazzed up. Savio was doing the same. I don't know, but I felt like it was a really good environment on the ground. And I honestly haven't gotten to watch all the replay back. But from what I thought they got most of that because Dustin was kind of in it somehow. And I don't know. I feel like Dustin should be an announcer. He's great. Did you guys? Was he on the live stream at any point? Or
yeah, we had him right.
Oh yeah,
Dustin,
I think so.
Dustin Miles, right? You want
no.
Dustin Miles is
who do we have?
No, I was just wondering if he was on like the live stream portion of it at any point. But no, you had awesome announcers on there too.
I think he was. I think I remember at one point.
Yeah.
Somebody got on the mic and then they were talking for a bit. And they were like, okay, I got to go because I think they want me to be announcing at the track
that's
instead of the live stream. So it's like, all right, bye, everybody.
No, he definitely, like, the show on the ground, I think, was way different than the live stream, obviously. Like, I don't know, some of the scenes in my video were, like, very, very quick. But, like, there were tons of people around the podiums, like, but for both.
And unfortunately, it rained.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for the first group, it did rain. That was pretty tough, and tough for the track, for sure too, because a lot more off tracks with that. So, and I was worried about that initially, but they seem at least receptive to the idea of another one.
I
So,
saw like at the
happy.
exit of the final corner, like somebody dirt dropped and just started spraying
Oh, yeah.
mud onto the cars on the other side of the fence, and I was like, oh man! But then I realized somebody had told me it's a junkyard.
Junkyard, yeah.
So I was like, oh, who cares?
Literally all the people pulling parts too, they just like stopped in there and just watching. And one of my clips is it's Adam from Breakbank spraying a guy who's,
Ginkle.
the guy's just like with his cell phone like harmlessly looking, and then the next second he drops tire and just boom, the mud just like flies out. It was cool. Yeah. But yeah, I thought the event was great. Like on the
I wanna
ground,
drive it. I
thought
wanna
the
drive it.
environment was amazing. The track extremely enticing driving wise. Yeah, it looks so cool, and it was fun being there. The media was a little crazy for a second. There were so many media people.
Oh, sure.
So I actually completely understood. Like maybe a couple months ago, I might not understand kind of like what Klutch Kickers is doing and what even Chris is going to be doing soon with U.S. Drift Circuit, because now it's going to be like a paid media pass. But
Really?
yeah, like right
That's
now
news to
it's
me.
listed at a $50 media pass.
Huh.
So, but I can see that happening because at OKC, I think for a little bit there, it illustrated the problem before like we had before we really had like the processes down where like, okay, you cross with the person, like Klutch Kickers already had that like jam packed, like it was so easy with them, like literally people holding your hand across the road. But yeah, once that was all good, like it worked out, but it was such a packed house that it created a dangerous environment in some cases. Because now you have like 10 media people on an island. What if a car comes skating through there understeering, uncontrolled, and it's like bowling pins, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
I do understand the value now of like limiting media to an extent, but I also worry because like I feel like I came in all the environments and all the events I've been at so far with like very open arms and very easy to get in, and like they're starting to get harder to get into. So I just feel bad for the people behind me. If like I do, like if Klutch Kickers let me in, I'm gonna feel bad for the people behind me, right? So I want them to have a chance too.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, and we're fully aware of that sort of danger that you just spoke about, because I mean there was instances over at County Line back in the day, because we had, if you look at the track layout, we had basically like a bunch of media people like in the middle of like a main portion of the track, and then depending on the configuration, it would either the one that would really be a concern would be the first left, what we would call, and then but the problem is that so you turn into the first left, and then you had media on the outside of it. So sometimes you would have people that would just go way too fast for that turn, and then they will go off and into the grass where the media would be at.
Yeah. And I was saying that Randy actually taught me a lesson that I think has forever kept me very, very safe. And like one of my first events, he told me don't ever be on the outside
The momentum.
of the car.
Yeah.
You want to stay away from the
You
momentum.
always
The path
want
of
to be on
momentum.
the inside of cars because like you can dodge away from them. The outside cars can shoot off at any direction, and it's literally unpredictable.
It's that path of momentum where the gravity is going to want to take the car.
Yeah.
There's always that outside path.
I have a clip where I think I scared the shit out of Nate Hamilton because I think he thought about hitting me for a second because I was at Klutch Kickers kind of like pointing the camera, doing my thing. Like, and I'm like ready to jump because like I've seen shit go down. But and I also understand that I'm taking that risk too.
Yeah, and
I'm not Superman. Shit could happen.
Yeah.
But I swear, like the way he brakes, it kind of looks like he checked up because he's like worried about
Right.
same thing I'm worried about, outside turns, because outside turns are scary.
Yeah, and also, I mean, random things happen to cars
All
where,
the time.
like you're mid drift, car shuts off, it shoots off that way.
well,
and
what
it happens
happened with
quick.
Taylor and Taylor Hall?
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Gabby, you can't lay down anymore
And
at Klutch Kickers.
like,
I wasn't laying down. I was just sitting down Indian style.
I don't know what's
In my
worse.
defense, it's not laying down.
I don't know what's worse.
I think it definitely comes with territory though. Like it comes with drifting for sure. So I don't think it's like a reflection on any of these tracks, like the situations that happen, because it's kind of just a part of it, right? And then like drag racing, the same, right? We've seen freak accidents in drag racing, so
Definitely will tell you.
it's
And Noel
all
will tell you that.
dangerous, and yeah, there's that.
Yeah, it's terrifying when you see
Risk
a car.
we accept, so yeah.
When you
It's
see a
tough.
car going 300 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the nose is in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
And they can go over that
What's
wall.
up, bro?
It's terrifying.
Yeah, we don't have nets like NASCAR,
Yeah, no, we don't.
so
That's what I'm saying. We should put a net on the first turn of Klutch Kickers. It'd be great. It would definitely work out. But I bring up the whole thing, what you just talked about, because I remember one particular driver who just, I kid you not, understeered from initiation all the way to the center of this like strip of grass and ends up hitting the, was it again the light pole, the rental, the Sunbelt rental light,
Yeah.
the generator.
Who was that?
Yeah.
That was it. Sun Life?
kind of like
No,
that.
No, that was kind of line.
The skip
That
pad.
was no,
Huh?
No, not skip line,
It was
first
It
left.
was the first left, and it was Rogelio and Emil.
Yes.
Rogelio was driving. Was it, or was Emil driving?
No, it was. I recall Emil
Yeah,
driving.
Emil was driving, and Rogelio was like doing photos, and he was behind that light, and Emil comes and hits the light. That
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that was like
We
what,
had some pretty interesting. We had Jason
2008?
Guild hit that truck at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was an emergency truck. He slammed into the emergency truck, and then the KP zone.
Well, you can never forget about the KP zone.
no,
That's
Yeah, it happens a lot.
We had a good picture. I
Yes,
forget
indeed.
who hit the wall. I think it was Carlos, where he hit the wall, and somebody caught the picture of the back window, like a foot away from the car, like being ejected from the car because he hit the wall. But somebody caught a picture of the actual whole back window in the air, in one piece.
The force,
Wow.
yeah.
I remember there's a photo of I forgot who it was. Might have been Bert. Because you remember how he liked to like
Hit the
bump,
barrel at the end.
hit the barrel at the end, or somebody. But I don't remember who it was. But I do recall like Gabby was like on the other side of the barrier,
Yeah.
and he was just like
No.
that.
It was Dayron Plata.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Dayron
Dayron.
with the RB25 S14, the line one.
Yeah.
He him and Bert were tandeming, and then Dayron hit the barrel, and
Yeah.
I was only like maybe 3 feet away from it, and right there it almost like flew off and hit me.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had tail
Taillight
light
was wild.
almost nail me. So like, yeah, there's a lot that happens.
So now the U.S. Drift Circuit is having. They're not going to have an event at PBIR till I think October.
Yeah, Waze, August or something.
But they
Wait,
have
no,
3 events that. Or
I
maybe,
might be thinking of Sebring.
No, they have 3 Sebring events.
Because there's that camping event in August.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
Yeah.
the Holy Shift Fest.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh huh.
Did you have a video? Did you get that?
Oh shoot! I was so caught up with what's
I
going
know.
on over here that
But I will say too,
I need
like,
some time to queue it up.
on the fairness of like safety and like media stuff, like I've learned a lot of lessons over time too, and I've made a lot of mistakes for sure. So like it's a tough world, and like it's a scary when you make a mistake safety wise in drift, it's scary as shit. So yeah, I apologize to every track I've ever gotten worried.
Have you got a chance to get on the oval on OSW?
No, not yet. It scares me.
Yeah.
But like, cause that's gonna be third gear for me in the FRS for sure. I've never
Yeah.
touched third gear yet, and like that kind of.
You can do it on the apron. It's fun.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. Just do the apron and have fun, and not. I don't have to do bank to feel good.
I
so.
wouldn't recommend going more than 2 consecutive laps. You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
destroy
yeah.
your tires.
Yeah.
No, the skip pad is fun. What we're actually doing, I'm going with a group Sunday, and what they're doing, a bunch of us at Corsa drifters, kind of that kind of thing. And we're actually like recreating a track. We're recreating the Mahon layout, or we're gonna try to on the skid pad. So it'll be the entry along the wall, and then you dump into like a reverse, or what do you call it?
Like a sweeper into like a tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of
Horseshoe style,
S's, and then kind of loop around.
Oh,
so
that'd be cool.
it'll
man.
be just like Mahon, but on the skid pad, and that'll be very fun. So, what sucks is my buddy who's learning is gonna have to learn on that layout. So that's gonna be fun.
But he can go on the oval and do and on the middle.
Yeah,
and just do
that
figure eights.
I think I'm probably gonna advise him to
You can
just
do figure eights in the center.
yeah
Mhm.
Yeah.
get to
Just
the
be
point where you're doing
careful
figure
with
eights
the-
and then have fun.
Yeah, the drainage. But
Yeah. There's a drain. There's.
I
two
still need to
drain
figure out.
spots,
That's
yeah.
my biggest worry about the oval is I don't know where that.
they have a cone there.
Yeah, they put a cone.
Is it in the middle of the?
It's offset towards, I think, the west side.
You have to be really offline to hit it.
Like,
Oh, okay.
I never even
Okay.
seen it. I didn't know about
Okay,
it until
you've
they
still
talked
never
about
seen
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Never
I've been on that track for years.
All right.
Yeah, it's on the flat part where the start finish line would be for the oval track. So like, but on the apron part.
Then I won't even worry about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, to hit that, you got to go really offline. I mean, it is possible, but you should see it and know where to avoid or where to.
Yeah,
like,
one day for
calm down.
sure. I'll
if you do
hit
the
it up.
FD layout strictly, then you don't even drift that part. You don't drift
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured because I've never seen anybody like try to avoid anything doing the FD layout. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what are they talking
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I remember doing that when they didn't have the whole paved infield. It was just an X.
about? Yeah,
And we used to do it back then. That was
Yeah.
tight, real tight.
yeah. I definitely want to bring the car to Klutch Kickers, so I'm worried it's gonna break on that.
There is what the Freedom
Freedom
Factory
Factory.
is having their first drift event.
Oh
Right.
man,
When is that?
I've been trying to. I've been playing with the idea of trying to do media there, but I have a feeling he has like a complete
Yeah, I'm sure
lockdown
he
on
probably
that,
does.
and even though it's a regular drift event, so I don't know.
If you have to one of those things where you just film on your phone and
I think I still might try because I'd like to try. I don't. Every drift event in Florida so far, I've gotten in and done a video for, so I don't think there's any different.
you
It
got
just-
the
yeah, obviously could be different.
A question: do you know if the music is?
It's just generic because he has to play. He's been playing it, so it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Oh, okay. All right. If you say so.
Hey,
hopefully-
I get copyright claims all the time.
Yeah, I don't
no
see-
worries.
I'm trying, man.
No
I don't
worries,
think
man.
there's any.
Claims are not the same thing as a strike.
I have
So-
no idea. So, but I don't. There's no words in the.
It's not about the words, man. It's about the music.
I don't recognize
It's,
the music.
it's about the
Twitch deleted,
notes,
like, a year's
the
worth of
beats.
content from me.
I have no idea.
Really?
He's playing it all over YouTube.
Well, yeah, I
figure-
wonder too. I know live streams are different, so it's a little
I
different.
guess
on
we'll
live stream.
find
What about
out.
live streams?
The Twitch, how
But it's not like
deleted all
instant.
my-
Yeah, just
Oh, yeah,
we'll
okay.
find out.
Yeah, we'll find out, right?
Okay, let's see.
I'm pretty sure what happens is they end up making money off you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just pull this up over here. Can I go full screen on this? Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
there
I
you
can.
go.
Okay,
There we
perfect.
go.
Okay. Let's see here. If it'll load, I don't see anything. It's
No.
just there.
It's the copyright gods already on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. They already took it out. Oh my gosh.
YouTube already knows.
Oh no.
Wow.
What are you doing?
Oh, what a failure! I just was expecting for
Instant
the
playback.
magic to happen, but it did not.
Well, the
Wow.
magic is.
In that case, so I guess Tim, what do you know about the Holy Shift event?
So it's gonna be a camping event. I really don't know that much about it. I just know that he just sent us this video saying to start sharing it. But it's gonna be a camping event. I know he's planning it to be really big. He's still not 100% sure if it's gonna be competition or not.
Should do it. When's the last time U.S. Drift Circuit had a competition? Back
A
when
while.
It's been back
back when Barn Built did it, I would assume.
I want to
It'll
do a
be 2 years
competition.
to that
would-
event.
Yeah, oh yeah, I want to do. I haven't done a competition in a long time, so I really want to
Yeah.
compete
I
again.
think you got 2 days. Run one day as a fun day and another day as a competition.
Well, Gabby, you're doing April. Is that for sure?
Well, like
Yeah,
Florida
April,
needs that,
Klutch
right? Like,
Kickers, I'll be there competing.
nice.
Yeah, just for fun. Just shake things up.
It's like
You're also going to Sebring.
Yeah, I'm doing
April.
Sebring too.
Okay, April 3rd. Okay.
That's more like the shakedown day to dial in the car in preparation for Klutch Kickers.
Right.
Yeah.
And Klutch Kickers is the week after that, right?
No, it's like 3
pretty
weeks.
soon, or it's March.
It's like 2 or 3 weeks after.
Oh, okay. All right. And gives us a little time there, a little breathing room.
Yeah.
Maybe if I download it.
Maybe that's what it is.
We might have to do a show at Sebring as like a Friday night show.
Yeah, we don't have to. Yeah.
Sebring was really cool last time. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty
I got tons of
sick.
seat time.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Hopefully
yeah, I
it's-
loved it. I had a blast.
I hope the COVID protocol is not as crazy.
Oh, I know. That's pretty bad, right? They stopped the event twice.
Dude, I swear sometimes this guy was like pretty mad I didn't have my mask on. I was just filming by myself. I'm just like, dude, like, please stop looking at me like that. Like, there's nobody around me.
I know,
Like,
right?
And everybody's more relaxed now. Now that the vaccine.
Yeah, I think it's been a
Yeah.
long. That was when COVID just happened. So
Yeah.
I totally know. I think I was even scared at that point of COVID for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm still wary of it, but who knows?
You never know.
Is it manufactured?
There is a patent on it, but that's a
Illuminati?
whole other thing.
Illuminati?
So we're having trouble here.
You getting it or what?
There we go.
Oh, dang, Coop.
It's not a bad little commercial.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't think there's
This
anything
would be
bad in
pretty
it.
cool. Yeah.
You
This
know?
would be cool.
So camping, I'm not too crazy about the two-step comp.
Well, the guy Bang Coop, he's like pretty well known in like the show.
That's what I heard,
So,
but I still don't know
so-
who he is. What?
Yeah, that's why I was pretty stoked when I saw it. I didn't see that earlier when I watched the video, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
So that's August 28th, 29th. Still a long ways to go, but definitely something to be excited about. Do I need to be closer to the mic? Anyway, and yeah, I mean, there's plenty to do. I think we're going to be able to do a live stream from there, which is cool. So if you're not able to make the event, at least you have an avenue to still be able to see some of it. But definitely try to make it out there. It's going to be, it's going to be a party. So, why not?
I feel like you guys should like do a duet, like start singing right now. Since yes, indeed.
Maybe a ukulele.
I started playing the harmonica. I could go get my harmonica.
Oh, the harmonica with the vampire teeth. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Well, I don't know. Do we have anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it, guys.
No, there's not
good.
not
It's
much
fun.
else going on right now. Pro drifting wise, news is a little slow, so but the season is starting to is going to start ramping up, so there's going to be a lot of news coming out on that. And
Check out the driver lineup for Klutch Kickers.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go on their
You know,
page.
I want to
I'll
see
pull that
who
up right now.
transitions. Like I want to see if pro drivers start just completely ditching the idea of FT. Because I feel like
Oh, bold statement.
wow,
Bold statement.
a series like Klutch Kickers, you could end up getting just as much benefit as like. What if you don't win any rounds of FD? It's probably more expensive than not winning any rounds of Klutch
Right.
Kickers.
I'm just hoping that Klutch Kickers,
You could win a lot more.
Well, no, there's just certain things I just be political and say. But I'm just hoping they get the recognition
Yeah, totally.
this year. Unlike last year, they got didn't get recognition by certain people. But
What's man, I wish Formula Drift was more transparent about that stuff, so I actually knew, and then I would feel good about it. But what I don't feel good about is I've seen online pro drivers they kind of post, or I won't say who it was, but they post their check if they got paid, but they're obviously not gonna show their amount. So it's what are we?
yeah.
I want to see them with big ass checks. You know what I mean? On the podium with a fat check.
Well, we did the calculation at what is being made at Road Atlanta, $60 a head, and how many thousand people?
yeah, there's 15,000 people that go to or
$60
more now.
a head,
Right. And
2 days. That's
for the record, I don't know what the breakup is, and for all I know, drivers might be compensated in other ways. I know sponsorships do carry a lot of their burden, and for sure.
depends on the driver though.
Right.
Like Ron Gittin, yes, but maybe like Jeff Jones, not so
Right.
much.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd think in a series like that, where you win a championship, you'd think there'd be essentially a transparent prize of what's going on.
Right, right. It's almost as if the incentive to win isn't that.
What is the incentive?
Yeah, there is no incentive.
I
Or
even
there
hear
is,
I
you
hear
just don't
Jared
know.
I even hear Jared the announcer say all the time bragging rights at the bar, and it's is that really all it is?
Yeah.
He's I hope that's not literally
Yeah,
what you
'cause
mean.
just Road Atlanta alone, if they had 10,000 people on one day, just in spectators, we noticed a lot of them that's $600,000.
And especially some of the bigger tracks that they can sell out. But COVID, I'm sure, hit them
Yeah, but they're still
decently
going
hard, I
strong.
would imagine.
Yeah.
I got
So let's hear it.
But yeah, and I don't hate FD, but like I think we all have grudges with it. FD, right?
Well, I
FD
think they
was
could do
got
more
me
for the
into
drivers,
drifting.
right? They are the premier series in the world.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they say. So I think they should be some stepping up when you have a little series like Klutch Kickers that is outshining them and you know, prize money, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think they can't allow that, and yeah, I don't. Or to me, Klutch Kickers will win me over
Right.
100 times over. Like I
Right.
don't even watch FD anymore. Like I barely do. Like so,
Yeah.
like I'll watch the highlights and see who won, but like not religiously like I used to. So
Yeah, I would say that Klutch Kickers is just more relatable, and it's just,
totally.
you know, I mean, there's people that we know out there, and
And that's true too. That
Yeah,
that
we
has
have a
big
lot of
part
bias. I think.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
But I mean, FD, like I watch it. I love watching FD because these are the best drifters in the world, or so they say, and it's like, all right, I want to see who's the best, you know. But yeah, there's some things like you said, they're not transparent. You know, there's things hiding in the background that I wish would come out. That way we can know a little bit more about it. But you know, they're
not going anywhere.
they're not going anywhere, and
It's like the NBA, right? You can
and
have,
I'll put yeah.
like you can have all your you can love basketball, but not like the NBA.
Yep.
I'm gonna.
And you still have to tolerate both, right?
Okay.
It's a good way to see
That's
it.
one way to look at it. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Can
say
you
like
go
this.
on with basketball as a hobby
No,
without
yeah,
the
of course
NBA
you can.
in your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Klutch Kickers would be more like they say, for the drivers by the drivers.
Yep.
Right. While FD is kind of a bigger crowd, kind of like more casual people watch it.
The show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's still drivers and real drift fans watching that, but they're catering to an even bigger crowd.
Yeah.
So that there's
It
that.
is different.
No,
Yeah.
Klutch Kickers is still young, so we'll see. Here's the drivers list, though.
All right, so
Yes,
we
indeed.
got returning Nick Novak.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't he in an E46 last year? Yes, he was.
So he downgraded?
Well,
Maybe
You could argue.
That's
you could argue.
I wouldn't necessarily say that
You sound
because
disappointed.
That's the superior chassis you're talking about.
yeah, according to Drift HQ,
Supposedly.
specifically Joel Garcia.
I think the FRS is going to take that crown, but whatever.
But yeah, so I guess he's not using his pro car for Klutch Kickers. So there's that. Taylor Ray, obviously, another returning driver. Ryan Acevedo, Avocado, he's coming back as well. Brandon McDowell. There's a lot of, Lucas Torno, Troy Manners, Jonathan Nairn, Kevin Lawrence, Ethan Parnell, George Thomas, Taylor Hall, Lee Yearwood. That whole list is returning drivers there. So that's cool. From there, we have Nate Hamilton, Steven Tassinaro, Patrick Gooden. Now,
That's
Pat's
gonna be interesting. Yeah,
Hey,
Pat's driving.
what?
Yep.
real quick about that. I know that Zach touched that he had an opportunity to drive a car, but is it an opportunity he had previously? Speaking of, is that going to be Matt Field's old drift car that he's jumping back behind the wheel of? So if that is, he's going to be very dangerous in the series. Dustin Miles.
He's already dangerous as a person. I mean, that's Pat Gooden we're talking about here, right?
And I'm sure Pat Gooden is going to be much happier on the other side because I know you can see judging is one of the worst jobs
He's a
you can have
driver.
in drifting. But yeah, he's a driver.
Yeah.
But you need drivers to judge. But I'm sure Pat Gooden is going to have much more fun on that side.
Oh, yeah.
So then we got Dustin Miles returning, Magic Mike Pollard. I'm really excited to see what he's gonna bring next year or this year.
I got to say, round 5, my MVP for sure. Like, it
Yes.
was awesome watching him.
Crazy
Yeah.
smoking angle.
Yeah, just the absolute animal the way he dressed.
Ben Julian's coming back. Reese Marine or Marin.
That's what Zach was talking about.
Yeah, he was saying that is the guy to watch out for. So we'll keep an eye on him. Alan Hazley. I'm not sure.
No, we'll go with Hazley.
Hazley, okay. Kevin Cardoso is coming back in the Dirty Z, I guess he's calling that now. Adam Grube, 2007 Mustang. Wow, interesting. I've never seen an S197 out there. Ben Hobson is coming back in a 2000 Corvette, so that's a C5 Corvette. Adam LZ, of course. Dirk Stratton is another returning driver. Alec Honadell in the 350Z. always exciting to watch Alec. I mean, no matter what he drives, he's amazing. Jeffrey Baird and the 240. What do we got next here? Jeffrey Baird, Michael Wallace. Is that what it says? I can barely see that.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, Nissan S4.
Hey, I recognize that name, Tyler Berry. He was in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
Ah,
There he is.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, E36 LS powered. Joey Whitaker, 2000
Marco,
V8 30 G35. Interesting. Michael Farino in a 98 Ford Mustang SN95. Oh, I know who that is. That's Drift Dreams. Okay.
Wait, is that the Mustang with the Mustang with the Mustang?
No.
Mustang with the Mustang front end? No.
Yeah, the Mustang.
No? Okay.
No. This is like a red burgundy SN95. Joseph Love. I guess
What?
he's
Hey.
going to be running on his feet out there.
No, what car is that? What's an NA?
It's normally
naturally
naturally
aspirated.
aspirated.
Okay, all
He's
right.
not the one from FD Pro.
It's a
No,
No. That would be
1989
Josh.
Miata.
Yeah, Josh Love. Rome Charpentier is ooh.
Rome was in. Yeah, he's
No,
supposed
he's
to.
pro. He was pro. Yeah, he was pro last year. It was rookie year last year.
Oh.
Adam Rozek, Marco Garza. is
Ah,
returning.
Marco's
Marco's
doing
back.
the whole season this year.
Nice. Emerson Nogueira.
Actually, let me cut you off. I've been meaning to ask him about his hair care routine because when I saw him, I was just like, wow, it's so luscious.
Yeah,
With Marco?
yeah,
Marco, yeah,
He
Marco.
cut it. He cut it all off.
Gone, man.
Yeah.
Why? No!
Yeah, he cut it all
Damn
off.
it!
I asked the same thing because
Yeah.
I appreciate. Yeah.
When I saw him on the
Got
fun
one
day, it
there
was all
like
cut.
that.
Oh, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Maybe there's a story to that.
So
Carry on, no.
Yeah, so Emerson Nogueira, he's driving Chelsea's old 1JZ M3. Andrew Maurer, I know him. Anyway, so
You know somebody. Congratulations.
Hey, you have a friend out there. All right.
Keone Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Or Keone, I'm not sure. 2JZ 240. Nick Castleberry.
And I thought that was Michael Essa when I first looked at
Dude,
it.
Yeah.
I was like,
wondering-
Michael
that
Essa.
killed me. I was like, no way.
I've been reading
But-
it the whole time. I'm like, he wouldn't drive a Supra.
Yeah. Michael
That's a good
Elsey.
point.
In a 97 Supra, a Mark IV. So,
Wow.
That'll be cool.
so we're getting a few.
And that's
cool cars out
just
there.
the drivers that register for the whole full season.
Yeah, for the championship.
These are championship. There are going to be other good drivers that weren't able to do the full season, out there.
So there's a chance they could max out the pre-sale at 80 drivers for the entire season, and they would just be locked in for
I mean,
be
yeah.
locked in for the year.
Yeah.
Right?
They
Yeah.
probably
Could
could.
technically. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what they're doing is they're just doing 40 spots for the championship because if not, the
Okay,
points
so
race
we're
would be
sold
nuts.
out on championship. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
catch that
then
part.
the
Okay.
the next 40 spots you can come in and go as you please. But at least you're gonna have that big, in case there's
Yeah, so Zach only worries
Oh.
about 40
oh
drivers.
something happened.
Whoa. Are you touching yourself? Are you touching
You
yourself?
just noticed the Supra.
Are you touching yourself?
I just read something in the chat that is just.
What?
Supra.
What?
Zachary Polof wrote LS MK4 Supra at that. Oh.
Oh, Ben is having a heart attack. Call the ambulance.
LS? Wow.
Oh, he was trying to make it go fast. Anyway.
Wow. Pulled out the Jay-Z.
I'm gonna be so jaded at the event.
Oh, so you don't like that, do you?
He doesn't like that part, but he likes the chassis. He just can't. He doesn't know what to think of it.
I love the chassis.
He loves the chassis.
adore the chassis.
And he even
All right.
loves the motor
You
even
have
more.
a shrine at your house that you worship every day.
But just
deny it.
just hearing that it's just
Oh,
It's a
man.
little rough, yeah, taking that out.
So you don't like it, huh?
I'm jaded. I'm seriously jaded here right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He doesn't know what to think of it. So
Yeah, it's
All right.
just what other car was it that we're so like jaded about?
I don't know. I have that feeling about like LS Mustangs. Like it's like
I see them at the drag strip all the time.
I know, and it's like, damn it, it works, but I don't like it. It's just
Well,
I
they're just
don't-
fixing the issues.
Yeah, they are.
What about a Coyote Camaro?
This goes back to our argument
I
that we
wish
were having
somebody
the other
would
night
do-
where I
Which
was
one?
like, the Mustang motor is garbage. Like, why do you want to get a Mustang?
Because it's not every other car. I like Mustangs. I grew up on Mustangs. So.
Oh boy. All right. Well, Anything else you guys want to add? Because I'm done here. I'm
done.
not
Stick a fork in 'em.
with that. I just I don't know. I'm
The V8 Super.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many other options, but I mean,
On a V10.
Yeah, he could have put an RB26.
shut up. Shut up. That would not have been any sort of jadedness whatsoever. I would have just been like, no, just set it out of the track. It fails tech.
I think RBs though, and I've like Kevin Lawrence's car won me over to the RB side. I think.
What is it so
hearing
wrong
it.
with the RV? Because
I think they're just hard to maintain, right? I don't
They're
know.
hard, yeah, I would say that they have a lot of oiling issues.
Right. But just
Yeah.
on pure sound, like it's
The
I
sound.
love the way it
a
sounds.
ravenous sound the way it goes off, like, and it's just so angry. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorites to mess with in the edits. Like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
such
there's
a
an old
beast.
video that I love watching to this day, and it was an E30 and had an RB in it, and it was like revving to 9, and it's just I would just listen to that section over and over again, just it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite sounds, second to the Jay-Z.
Yeah, I never really understood it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, now I know why they like to just dump all their money into it and just rebuild it over and over again. Because like, yeah, it sounds fucking sick. And that's the one thing I miss in the FRS is like when I hop in friends' cars or like SR20s and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, that boost.
The boost on, yeah.
yeah.
Zach wrote, Kevin Lawrence made me pull my LS out of my competition car and go RB25. They are legit when done right.
Legend of the night.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
indeed.
Kevin Lawrence has been running the RBs for a long time, and he's proven that they're pretty reliable when they're done right. I mean, not that he's never blown a motor, but it's been pretty seldom considering that it is an RB.
I think you could do a motor right and still blow it. Like, I think you've seen that. You see it in racing like time and time again. Even a built motor
I've seen it
will
with two
still go
JZs.
down. Yeah.
You know, it's like I've seen two JZs being built and they're nothing crazy, and they blow because something they
When
did
you're
wrong.
pushing
Owner
limits,
error, all right? Owner error.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's ID 10T. Yeah. It's a user error.
All right. All right, so, Ryan, what's in store for you in the future, man?
I don't know. Just keep drifting the shit out of the car. Have fun. That's about it. I just have fun doing these events for sure. And the videos I'm hoping are about to be like on a hopeful next level. Because we just got like a new camera, new gimbal, and it's like by far way different than the camera I was on before. So like my whole initial hope of like hoping drivers feel proud about it and stuff, like I definitely have all the tools I could ever want to ever do that. So that's what I really want to focus on, but still have fun driving. So, but I don't have any plans for like competitive driving or anything like that. Like the FRS, I do want to like have fun with over time, and I don't think I could ever get rid of it at this point because it's like it's never gonna leave me. But
it's a good platform to build on.
yeah, exactly. So just learn with it over time, but the media side kind of helps me balance it all. So
Yep. When you blow it, swap it.
it's a great plan. Yeah, it's fun. It'll be an LS too if I swap it. So I'm sorry to disappoint.
It's okay.
I'm really sorry.
It makes sense.
Nobody cares about the 8.6, honestly.
I got-
What
I
you
got a-
swap into it.
I got a 1JZ non-VVTi going that's in my BMW, and I bought it 3 years ago.
Because you have a car at Jackson's shop, right? Yep.
Yeah, it's like part of Jackson's shop.
He's
now.
had it there.
I know. It seems to be
had it
it's a
there.
recurring.
It's
So
part of
integrated
It's a part of the
into the
decor there. It's a part of the
I'll talk
decor.
to him about
Part
it
of the
when I-
built-in
he knows.
structure now.
Yeah. By the way, we got a comment in the chat from Drift Sessions that writes, "I hear no blows as well."
Wow.
Ah.
Yeah.
Drift
Paul.
Sessions.
Paul.
Oh no, we've been hacked.
Even when you're not here, I can still feel your hate.
So where can people find you?
Instagram probably to stay up to date, and then YouTube, but all of it RYEVDEE, RYEVD. So now
Okay.
you finally know how to.
Yes, thank you.
It's the
Because
official pronunciation.
and we'll catch you also on Assetto Corsa, right?
Of
Every
course,
once in a
of course,
while.
Of course, yeah. I'm on there all the time, and I have my name on there displayed, so you can just hop in behind me. Have
Cool.
fun.
All right, Ryan, thank you for stopping by.
course, it was a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. And hope to catch you on the track.
Yeah, hopefully in a few weeks. Hopefully we'll all be at Klutch Kickers. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be there either way, but I
Right.
really hope I can be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll hang out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
We got to go to that Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
Yep.
definitely. I'm already making some plans, so
Yep.
I'm ready. I'm stoked. I am stoked. I
Mhm.
just can't wait to make the drive and just be like, woo!
Yeah, I'm excited. I love the trip itself. But I'm weird. I like driving up there and driving back down. It's kind of relaxing to me, except for when Paul just can't stop making fun of me or whatever. It's just
Well, Paul's not going as the first round,
Oh,
unfortunately.
thank
So
you.
Yeah.
we'll have to figure out how we're gonna you ride with me or whatever.
yeah. We'll figure that
I'll
out.
be there.
the elevation gives
Yeah,
me
well, you're not
anxiety.
that bad.
Like I
It's
can't.
Paul.
Yeah,
The
we
driving when especially when you're getting close to the area and the elevation changes like so drastically and like you finally start seeing hills and
Yeah, it's not so
Yeah.
flat and boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
It gives
This
me
is
so
what it's
much
like in the
anxiety.
rest of the world.
Freaking like 60-degree
No, it was
angles. and
it
I'm
was
like,
crazy last
Jesus.
time because we were driving through the hurricane.
Yeah,
so
that
it was
too.
not only just all that what you just mentioned.
So maybe that was a part of that. Yeah.
yeah,
Now that I
because
think of it.
and then they had that water leak that they had to deal with.
Yeah, so Paul likes to blame it on me, but Paul also bought one of those things that you stick onto the windshield to put your phone on. But if you've seen Paul in real life, the guy's huge. So he doesn't just go and stick it on. No, he pushed it through, and the windshield broke the seal, and it started leaking.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we had to rig it up in a way where we put a bungee cord around
That was my
the
idea.
yeah
No
yeah.
way.
So we put a bungee cord, hooked it up to that phone thing, and then we like hooked it onto something else, and it pulled the windshield down enough to stop the leak.
That's not the easy trip. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're
It was
looking forward to it.
adventurous.
Yeah, it was fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Fun times. Yes, indeed. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and appreciate. You're
Sorry.
right there.
I'm good now. Ooh.
he spit them
Yeah.
out, and it's just like
like much
saliva
better.
everywhere.
I got the
Oh,
Rona
God.
all over the table.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you again 2 weeks from now. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, hang on. Where is this?